number 8 and 9 of today's list, my lord.
Yes.
My lord, I'm led by senior advocate say Mr. Gupta. He's not keeping well. So, my lord,
He'll appeals.
He'll appeal, my lord.
Okay.
My lord, that decree passed in 2013. Many occasions they have taken time, my lord. So since 2013,
Decree has been affirmed by this court.
not affirmed because of
my lord, it is
illegal is now
passed by
pending.
the
That degree is the subject matter of challenge here.
yes, my lord, it is passed by the deputy commissioner only, my lord.
Okay.
Additional deputy commissioner that was challenged by my lord. Subsequently, it was first listed
That's
as
okay.
RFA.
Mr. Dasgupta is not well.
Yes,
When do you
On 25th, my lord.
my
Short
lord,
date may be given, my
my
lord.
lord,
After that, I will go out to some other station, my lord.
you tell us the date of your convenience?
25, my lord. 25th is the date. Tuesday, my lord. Next Tuesday.
my lord, March 25th. My lord, next week, my lord, from week starting from 1, my lord, if it is possible, my lord.
Tell us. Tell us.
1 to any date, my lord, 1, my lord, Tuesday, my lord. It's a
Mr.
Tuesday.
Kathadirika, have a date of
1st
your
April, my lord.
convenience? Consensus date?
April, my lord.
1st April. It's a
1st April.
Tuesday, my lord.
1st of April.
My lord, Tuesday, my lord. Here.
A prayer for adjournment has been made on behalf of Sri A. Dasgupta, Learned Senior Counsel for the railways.
Yes, my lord.
Last chance, my lord, because
Uh,
whole pending.
also heard Sri DC K. Hazarika, Learned Counsel for the opposite parties who has, however, expressed some urgency. Tara, as agreed to by the parties, while the matter is adjourned, the same is directed to be listed on 1st of April.
Yep.
8 and 9.
My lord.
1-4.
2014, my lord, they have filed it with the challenge the decree.
Okay, we'll see. Let it come.
Then
Let it come.
RFA file, then he'll appeal for part.
May I please, your Lordship, I have to mention for listing of an IA, Lordship, in connection with Criminal Appeal 408/2023. In this case, Lordship, we file an IA regarding Lordship his plea of criminality was raised in this
Okay, we'll have it when Friday.
Friday, Lordship. And
Have you filed or not?
filed, already filed, Lordship. And
Filed.
it was last posted on 25/9/2024.
Oh, not a fresh matter.
Not a fresh matter.
Okay, Friday.
Similar prayer, another appeal is also there, Lordship. IA, Lordship. DP of Lordship. Lordship, kindly pass over matter for time being.
Mr. K.N. Chaudhary is ready, I'm told. The amicus curiae. But Santanu Pothakur has some difficulty.
That's reference.
There are 56 witnesses. 6 long. There are 4 volumes of paper book.
Somebody has to do it.
Yes, it has to be done.
So why not we?
Yes.
Yes, next. What if some other? Yes, Mr. Chaudhary. Ms. Jahan has said 56 numbers of witnesses, 4 volumes. Response of the court is
Normally, the procedure.
court has responded that somebody has to do it.
Yes, yes.
Why not we?
No, actually.
So in fact, I have taken time in court note in 4 matters to do this, my lord.
But then the procedure is that the appeal is heard first. Because if the appeal is allowed, then there is no need to go for the death reference.
Right,
So it was clear. Earlier, amicus curiae starts, but nowadays, in appeals.
It doesn't
it's
matter
taken
who
up.
starts. We have to be apprised of the facts,
Yes.
of the evidence, how the conclusion has been reached.
Yeah.
And only to the extent of reference, death reference. My role is only limited to that. मुख्य विषय बोलते हैं, more responsibility mine.
It is okay. First matter.
Yes. My lord,
Where is Mr. Pothakur?
yes.
He is for who? Who is for the appellant?
Yes.
He's on late.
Milord, let me discharge my role as an amicus, Milord. I'll only try to justify, Milord, what I have found, subject to what your lordship takes, that the death sentence has been rightly awarded. Because it's a case where, Milord, the aggravating circumstances far outweighs the mitigating circumstances. Plus, as
What is the age of the appellant?
age of the appellant is less. But all these aspects have been taken note of. If your lordship would kindly come to the impugned judgment first, Milord. Now it starts at page number 568, Milord. But I'll have your kind attention to page 741 onward, where this aspect of the matters have been dealt with.
Number of pagination block to correct serially আছে
The volume number, Milord, 3.
568. Third volume, yes. Madam, the page number is yes, continuous pages. No, after the volume. First page is that. Here. Yes, 5 sentences. So you can.
Yes, okay.
So you take the third volume.
Paragraph 247, para 741.
Page
2741.
27.
No, Milord. Paragraph 247,
No, kindly tell
page 741.
741.
Yes.
Para 247.
Yes, ma'am. We have also heard the learned advocates of both sides on the point of sentence. Sri so-and-so learned special PP has submitted that the courts have to follow the guidelines laid by the Supreme Court in the case of Bachchan Singh and Machi Singh in case of sentence. The courts have to draw up the balancing of the aggravating as well as mitigating circumstances and thereafter to record sentence. It is further submission of the learned special PP that it is an uncommon mob lynching case where a senior doctor lost his life. The conduct of the accused was inhuman and also barbaric in nature, and therefore the accused person deserves maximum sentence prescribed by law. Mr. Jaiswal further submitted that if we look at the aggravating as well as mitigating circumstances, and after giving maximum weightage to the mitigating circumstances, we'll find that mitigating factors fail to take the mitigating circumstances of the accused so-and-so out of the rarest of the rare category. It is also submitted that the accused Sanjay Rajwar is not remorseful of his conduct and his possibility of reform and rehabilitation is not there, as he is more than a hardened criminal. Though he has no criminal antecedent yet, if we look at his conduct in its entirety, the same will show that he is a threat to the society. It is also submitted that though he is of a young age, yet he had acquired all the quality of a veteran criminal, right from threatening the witnesses and leveling false imputation against investigating officer due to his examination under section 313 CRPC. It is further submitted that the impact of the incident is such that doctors are now hesitant to provide treatment to patients. And on the very next day of the incident, the Doctors Association goes on strike, and the said facts are in public domain now. As such, according to the learned special PP, accused Sanjay Rajor deserves death penalty, and accordingly he pleaded for the same. Whereas Mr. Anup Kumar Datta, the learned counsel for the convict, submitted that it is not a case of rarest of rare category. According to him, conduct of the accused are not barbaric as projected by learned special PP. It was a spontaneous protest against the tragic death of one of their colleagues and against their sufferings for a long period, which provoked them to take such a step. Doctor submitted that it is not correct that there is no mitigating circumstances in favor of the accused Sanjay Rajwar, who has no criminal antecedent and his age is only 21 years. Mr. Datta further submitted that conduct of the accused cannot be ascertained from their statement. Rather, they tried to give true account of the incident. It is also submitted that all the accused are poor tea garden laborers and they deserve leniency. Before directing a discussion into the points so raised by the learned advocates of both sides, it would be advantageous to understand the sentencing policy in India. In India, there is no legal framework in sentencing guidelines, unlike other countries. Therefore, sentencing in our country is mostly led by the guideline judgment, and the problem is being addressed in a principled manner, having regard to judicial standards and principles, which not only serve as instructive guidelines, but also preserve the required discretion of the trial judge while sentencing. In India, a judge needs to keep in mind the broad purpose of punishment, which are deterrence, incapacitation, rehabilitation, retribution, and reparation, whether applicable, unless particularly specified by the legislature as to the choice. The purpose identified above marks a shift in law from crime-oriented sentencing to holistic approach, wherein crime, criminal victim have to be taken into consideration collectively. Before determining the quantum of sentence here in this case, we deem it appropriate to discuss some of the case law presently holding the field. In Bachan Singh, the Honorable Supreme Court, while dealing with the constitutional validity of death penalty for murder provided in Section 302 IPC and sentencing procedure embodied in subsection 3 of Section 354 of the CRPC, laid the following proposition. The extreme penalty of death need not be inflicted except in gravest cases of extreme culpability. Before opting for fresh death penalty, the circumstances of the offender also required to be taken into consideration, along with the circumstances of the crime. Life imprisonment is the rule and death sentence is an exception. In other words, death sentence must be imposed only when life imprisonment appears to be an altogether inadequate punishment having regard to the relevant circumstances of the crime, and provided and only provided the option to impose sentence of imprisonment for life cannot be conscientiously exercised having regard to the nature and circumstances of the crime and all the relevant circumstances. A balance sheet of aggravating and mitigating circumstances has to be drawn up, and in doing so, the mitigating circumstances has to be accorded full weightage, and a just balance has to be struck between the aggravating and mitigating circumstances before the option is exercised. So these are the Millard guidelines which were given in Bachan Singh. Now in Machi Singh, it has been held that in order to apply these guidelines, inter alia, the following question may be asked and answered. Is there something uncommon about the crime which renders sentence of imprisonment for life inadequate and calls for a death sentence? Are the circumstances of the crime such that there is no alternative but to impose death sentence even after according maximum weightage to the mitigating circumstances which speak in favor of the offender? In paragraph 252, it is further held the reason why community as a whole does not endorse the humanistic approach reflected in death sentence in no case doctrine are too far to seek. In first place, the very humanistic edifice is constructed on the foundation of reverence for life principle. When a member of the community violates this very principle by killing another man, society may not feel itself bound by the shackles of this doctrine. Secondly, it has to be realized that every member of the community is able to live with safety without his or her own life being endangered because of the protective arm of the community and on account of the rule of law enforced by it. The very existence of rule of law and the fear of being brought to book operates as a deterrent to those who have no scruples in killing others if it suits their end. Even members of the community owes a debt to the continuity of this protection. When ingratitude is shown instead of gratitude by killing a member of the community, which protects the murderer himself from being killed, or when the community feels that for the sake of self-preservation, the killer has to be killed, the community may well withdraw the protection by sanctioning death penalty. But the community will not be so in every case. It may do so in the rarest of the rare case when its collective conscience is so shocked that it will expect the holder of the judicial power center to inflict death penalty irrespective of their personal opinion as regards the desirability or otherwise of the retaining the death penalty. The community may entertain such a sentiment when the crime is viewed from the platform of motive or the manner of the commission of the crime or anti-national or abhorrent nature of the crime, such as, for instance, so, my lord, is instead of judge-centric, view, my lord, it is the community's perspective which, in my humble submission, has been taken note of by the Supreme Court.
Machi Singh.
Yes. Manner of commission of murder. When murder is committed in extremely brutal, grotesque, diabolical, revolting, or dastardly manner so as to arouse intense and extreme indignation of the community, for instance, when the house of the victim is set aflame with the end in view to roast him live in house, when the victim is subjected to inhuman acts of torture or cruelty in order to bring about his or her death, when the body of the victim is cut into pieces or body is dismembered in a fiendish manner. Motive for commission of murder. When the murder is committed for motive which evinces total depravity and meanness, for instance, when a hired assassin commits murder for the sake of money or reward, a cold-blooded murder is committed with deliberate design in order to inherit property or to gain control over property of a ward or a person under control of the murder or vis-a-vis whom the murder is in dominating position or in the position of trust. Murder is committed in course of betrayal of the motherland. Antisocial or socially abhorrent nature of the crime. When murder of a scheduled caste or a minority committee, etc., is committed, not for personal reason, but in circumstances which arouse social wrath. For instance, when such a crime is committed in order to terrorize such persons and frighten them into fleeing from a place or in order to deprive them or make them with a view to reverse past injustice and in order to restore the social balance. In case of bride burning, what are known as dowry deaths, or even murder is committed in order to remarry for the sake of extracting dowry once again, or to marry another woman on account of infatuation. Magnitude of crime when crime is enormous in proportion. For instance, when multiple murders, say almost all the members of family or a large number of persons of a particular caste, community, or locality are committed. Personality of the victim of murder. When the victim of the murder is an innocent child who could not have or has not provided even an excuse, much less provocation for murder. Now, B, a helpless woman or a person rendered helpless by old age or infirmity. When the victim is a person vis-a-vis from whom murder is in a position of domination or trust. When the victim is a public figure generally loved and respected by the community for the services rendered by him, and murder is committed for political or similar reasons other than personal reason. In Ramesh Chandra so Honorable Supreme Court reflected upon the decision and called out the principles as follows. The aforesaid judgment primarily dissect these principles into two different compartments, one being the aggravating circumstances, while the other being the mitigating circumstances. The court would consider the cumulative effect of both these aspects, and normally it may not be very appropriate for the court to decide the most significant aspect of sentencing policy with reference to one of the classes under any of the following heads, while completely ignoring the other classes under other heads. To balance the two is the primary duty of the court. It will be appropriate for the court to come to a final conclusion upon balancing the exercise that would help to administer the criminal justice system better and provide an effective and meaningful reasoning by the court as contemplated under section 12. So, now my lord, what are the aggravating circumstances? It has been delineated. Then what are the mitigating circumstances which have been delineated? Then, my lord, at 748, the principles, my lord, this is important. My lord, what I find from the preponderance of judicial view seems to be, my lord, apart from balancing the aggravating and the mitigating circumstances, the case also must fall in the case of rarest of the rare. Now, here at page 748, the principle, the court has to apply the test to determine if it was rarest of the rare case for imposition of death penalty. In the opinion of the court, imposition of any other punishment, life imprisonment would be completely inadequate and it would not meet the ends of justice. Life imprisonment is the rule and death sentence is an exception. The option to impose sentence of imprisonment for life cannot be cautiously exercised having regard to the nature and circumstances of the crime and all relevant consideration, the method and manner in which crime was committed and the circumstances leading to commission of such heinous crime. Now, my lord, at para 254, this Shankar Rao's case is, taken note of. Then, my lord, now will kindly come to page 751, where the learned session judge, my lord, now having taking note of the principles, guidelines laid by the Honorable Supreme Court in different judgments. Now, the learned judge refers to the aggravating factor at page 751. More or less, my lord, these are all on the same line, so I am not reading whole thing. Now, kindly see, my lord, how the learned judge, session judge dealt with the issue. Aggravating factor. Offense was committed while the doctor was on duty at the hospital. Doctor was an old person and his age was 73 at the material time of occurrence as per the postmortem report. He was found sitting on a chair during the entire period of the occurrence. There is no iota of evidence to show that he was aggressor. Rather, materials on record established it beyond reasonable doubt that the accused were the aggressor. He was in a defenseless state and there is no iota of evidence to show he uttered a single word to provoke the accused person. The appeal request of the management of the tea garden to come down and for allowing the injured doctor to take to the hospital for treatment, even after sustaining serious injuries, was negated. Rather, they chanted slogan that they will not allow doctor to take to the hospital and they want him to die out here. They have assaulted the welfare officer of the garden, namely Jivan Kurmi, mercilessly, as is evident from the material exhibit 53, who came there to interfere in the matter. A request of the law and order magistrate to allow him to take seriously injured doctor to hospital was ignored, and the police personnel were resisted from discharging their duty. The very existence of rule of law and fear of being brought to book failed to operate as a deterrent to the accused. It shows that they have no scruples in killing others if it suits them. It's very important matter. It was executed in preordained manner. It was accused Manoj Mahaji, a member of Atasa, who made the doctor to sit in the chamber and did not allow him to leave the hospital, though the doctor tried to come out and thereafter 30-40 persons stormed into the hospital altogether. The helpless doctor was subject to brutal assault for a period of more than 1 hour from 4 p.m. to 5:25 p.m. as is apparent from T of PSDD entry dated so and so, in broad daylight in presence of patients and attendants and hospital staff, and also in front of the mobile cameras of the reporters present there. After sustaining the fatal injury on his right thigh, while the doctor was struggling for life, the accused Sanjeev Razawat is the person, my lord, upon whom death penalty has been awarded, throwing his injury over his legs, asked him whether he got a lesson or not. This, according to our considered opinion, is the most cruel and inhumane act on the part of the accused. The offense is exceptional in nature and it reflects extreme depravity by not allowing the serious injured doctors to take to the hospital in the ambulance and chasing it away
What
from
was
the
the
hospital.
nature of the injury?
Nature of the injuries are, my lord, I will show, my lord, from the post-mortem report. My lord will kindly come to page 811, my lord. Page 811.
Yes.
Death was due to shock and hemorrhage following the injuries sustained as described, which were antemortem and homicidal in nature. Injury number 1 was caused by sharp cutting pointed weapon, and injury number 2, 3, 4, and 5 were caused by blunt weapon. However, so and blood were preserved for chemical analysis. Approximate time of death since 6 to 12 hours. And the injuries are, my lord,
It is
page
807.
807, my lord.
Yes.
Stab injury of size 4 centimeter into 1 centimeter, muscle dip is present over the medial aspect of the right thigh, situated 13 centimeter above the upper border of patella, 23 centimeter below the symphysis pubis, and 5 centimeter medial to the mid-thigh line, having clean cut margin and clotted blood are found adherent at the wounded margin, which were resistant to washing with water. On dissection, it is found that the weapon passes through the skin, so-and-so tissues, vastus, vestas, medial, abductors, longuis, and femoral artery partially cut and separated. Injury number 2, contusion of size so-and-so issue depth is present over the right side of the face, just lateral to the right eye, red in color. Contusion of size so-and-so, soft tissue depth is present over the left side of the face, just lateral to the left eye. Then injury number 4, scalp contusion of 3 centimeter into 2 centimeter into so-and-so over right peritoneal region, over frontoperitoneal region, and over so-and-so, so-and-so. So actually, my lord, he died due to loss of blood because in the right thigh, what this gentleman did, my lord, he just took out a glass from the window pane and just put inside it. And it continued for quite some time. It was then when, my lord, he was sought to be taken to hospital.
There is one more, the 5th injury.
Yes, my lord.
On the chest.
Yes. I'm sorry, my lord. 808. Yes. Contusion of size so-and-so in present on front of the chest, upper left, upper part, left side, underneath so-and-so ribs found fractured with surrounding soft tissue contusion. Well, it was actual and barbaric act. And person of 72 years of age, and who was so, my lord, loved by everybody, The moment he was informed about this incident, he immediately came with her. And over phone, when he was informed, I'll place those evidence with her. Let me read, complete reading this, my lord, the judgment, my lord. My lord, I have completed this aggravating part. No, yes. Now, page 753, my lord. 11. The accused have tried to thwart the judicial process by threatening the witnesses not to adduce evidence against them, so and so, so and so. The effect of this incident upon the society as a whole is perilous and far-reaching as it redefined the doctor and patient relationship, and the society will suffer a lot. We have already noticed its ramification on the very next day of occurrence, as doctors went on strike to protest the murder of Deven Datta without attending the patient. They are not at all remorseful of their conduct, but they're very much worried about the future of their respective families. So these are the aggravating factors, now mitigating. These circumstances are called out from the statement of the accused person recorded during hearing under section 235(2). Sanjay Rajwar, he has the burden of looking after his brother and mother. He and his brother is earning member of the family. Sanjeev Rajwar, he has the burden of looking after his family. And my lord, we are concerned with Sanjay Rajwar. So his only plea was that he is the only earning member and his mother and brother is dependent upon him. Now, my lord will kindly come to page number 758. Para 257. Besides the individual factors, the following mitigating factors are common to all the accused. All the accused are belonging to tea garden tribe and they are backward in both social economic front. Most of them are illiterate and some of them even do not know how to read and write. They are of young in age, and almost all of them are below 40 years. They have no criminal antecedent record. No previous conviction is proved against them by the prosecution side. It is worthwhile to mention here that of the 31 accused, 25 are convicted under section 302, 149 IPC, and accused Sanjay Rajwar is also convicted under section 302 IPC. We have also considered the submission of learned special PP, and also we have given our anxious consideration to the submission so advanced by learned counsel for the convicts in the light of the facts and circumstances record. And we find substance in the submission of learned special PP so far as relates to accused Sanjay Rajwar is concerned. It is not a case of provocation, let alone a grave and sudden, as contended by the learned counsel for the convict. And we have already decided this point. Therefore, we are unable to record our concurrence to the submission of the learned counsel for the convict. On a critical analysis and evaluation of evidence on the record in its entirety, we find that accused Sanjay Rajwar played the most crucial role in the entire occurrence. We have already found and also hold that he was more aggressive amongst all the accused. And even after he was chased out, he again made his way and assaulted Dr. Deven Datta. Besides causing injury number D, sharing common object with other accused on the persons of Deven Datta, he also caused injury number A on the right thigh of the Deven Datta, which according to medical evidence alone is sufficient to cause death of a person in the ordinary course of the nature. He also attempted to assault police personnel while he tried to protect Dr. Deven Datta from his being assaulted. The accused tried to thwart the judicial process by threatening the witness. He took lead part in assaulting Deven Datta He chased away 108 ambulance along with the other accused, which came to take Dr. Deven Datta to the hospital. He also prevented PW17, one police personnel in taking Deven Datta to police vehicle for taking to hospital. He has shown no remorse during the period of occurrence and thereafter also during the hearing. Now, my lord, I would lay special emphasis on this para 259, my lord. If we try to give numbers, my lord, I'm reading from my lord again this para from the fourth line. And even after that, he chased out, he again made his way and assaulted Dr. Deven Datta, causing, besides causing injury number D, sharing a common object with other accused on the person of Deven Datta. Number two, he also caused injury number A on the right thigh of Deven Datta, which according to medical evidence alone is sufficient to cause death in the ordinary course of the nature. Number two. Then three, he also attempted to assault police personnel while he tried to protect Deven Datta from being assaulted. 4. The accused tried to thwart the judicial process by threatening witness. 4. He took leading part in assault of Deven Datta. 6. 5. He chased away the ambulance along with other accused, which came to take Deven Datta to hospital. Then 6. He also prevented PW1 police personnel in taking Deven Datta to police vehicle for taking to hospital. And last but not the least, he has shown no remorse during the period of occurrence and thereafter also during hearing on the point of sentence. So these are very 7 crucial aspects, my lord, which in my humble submission is an indicator of it's a rarest of the rare case, apart from the fact that it's a case where aggravating factors far outweighs the mitigating factor. Now, my lord will kindly come to page 763. Now, in terms of the Honorable Supreme Court direction, having drawn the balance sheet of aggravating and mitigating circumstances and placing the same in just a position, now the learned session judge deals with the case method at para 261 at page 763. Having drawn, has a lot of got it.
Yes.
Having drawn up a balance sheet of all aggravating as well as mitigating circumstances and placing the same in just a position and even giving maximum weightage to the mitigating factors, we find that the balance sheet is heavily against the accused Sanjay Rajwar. From the facts and circumstances and record, the following circumstances, which are exceptionally grave, can be called out. He caused fatal injury number A to Deven Datta, besides causing injury number D as a common intention with others. He took lead part in assaulting the doctors and was the most aggressive. He did not show any regret, sorrow, or repentance at any point of time during commission of such a brutal crime or thereafter. His mindset cannot be said to be amenable to any reformation or rehabilitation. London's special PP has rightly submitted the same in his argument, and we find substance in the same. The murders were committed while the victim was on duty without any provocation from his side. It was a cold-blooded murder as submitted by London PP. The victim was a person rendered helpless by old age, 73 years. It was executed in a planned manner. It was absolutely devilish and dastardly, involving inhuman treatment and torture to the victim for more than 1.5 hours in a broad daylight in presence of patients, attendants, and hospital staff, and also in front of the mobile cameras of the reporters present. It has resulted in intense and extreme indignation of the community, and it pricks or shocks not only the judicial conscience, but also the collective conscience of the society. The society would approve it as the incident will have perilous effect upon it, as the incident act as a catalyst in redefining the doctor-patient relationship, with learned special PPS rightly pointed out. The victim was a doctor and generally loved and respected by community for the services rendered by him, and murder was committed for other than personal reasons. The offense is exceptional in nature and it reflects extreme depravity by not allowing seriously injured doctor to be taken to the hospital in 108 ambulance and chasing it away from the hospital. Very existence of rule of law and fear of being brought to book fail to operate as deterrent to him who has no scruples in killing others if it suits his end. These 9 exceptionally grave circumstances, to our considered opinion, would operate as a special and meaningful reasoning as contemplated under section 254(3) CRPC to award death sentence to the accused Sanjay Rajwar, besides answering 2 questions so posed by the Honorable Supreme Court in Masi Singh, that yes, there is something uncommon about the crime. B, the circumstances of the crime are such there is no alternative but to impose death sentence, even after according maximum weightage to the mitigating circumstances. We find that the crime test is fully satisfied and criminal test is also satisfied. We find that no mitigating circumstances favoring accused, and looking at the factors like society's abhorrence, extreme indignation and antipathy, we find that the society would approve the extreme penalty in the case of this type. Thus, we are of the view that case which stands the rare and rarest test also. Therefore, to our considered opinion, sentence of life imprisonment would be altogether inadequate, though the learned counsel for the conflict pleaded for leniency. Rather, it would tempt other potential offenders to commit such a crime and get away with lesser punishment for imprisonment for life. Then, Milord may kindly come to para 265. In Devinder Pal Singh versus State of so-and-so, the Honorable Supreme Court has held that death sentence may be warranted when murder is committed in an extremely brutal manner and for motive which evinces total depravity and meanness, as for example, murder by hired assassin for money or cold-blooded murder for gain. Death sentence may also be justified. Then, my lord, I'll have your lordship's kind attention to para 270 at page 767. Thus, bearing in mind the ratios so laid down in the aforementioned 7 cases, and also in Basant Singh and Masi Singh, and also in the case of Ram Naresh versus State of Chhattisgarh, Shankar Rao Krishna Rao Khate, Sushil Sharma, and Purushottam Dasrath Borote, and further considering the uncommon factors as well as mitigating circumstances and the grave and exceptional circumstances, we are constrained to hold that accused Sanjay Rajwar deserved extreme punishment here in this case for the charge under section 302 IPC. And looking at the role played by the rest of the accused persons, especially the aggravating as well as mitigating circumstances, as well as submission of learned advocates of both sides, we are of the view that they deserve imprisonment for life for the charge under section 302 and 149 IPC, as mitigating circumstances take their cases out of the rarest of the rare category. Accordingly, the accused are sentenced as under, which are reflected below in the below noted chart. So, my lord, at page 768, Sanjay Rajwar, the respondent herein, my lord, is sentenced to death, and the rest are mostly, my lord, imprisonment for life, etc. Now, my lord, I'll just place the evidence of 2 PWs, my lord, just to show the severity. So, the lordship should kindly come to volume number 1, my lord. He was PW 12, my lord. He was the chowkidar of that hospital. If your lordship would kindly come to page 55.
Naresh. Naresh.
Yes,
Robidas.
Nareshwar Robidas. Yes.
But we have not seen the facts. The finding of the learned judge that it was a pre-planned and cold-blooded. How is that finding?
Yes, I'm coming to that.
Because we just had a cursory glance of the
Yes.
Initiation of the case by
Yes.
the FIR by the
Yes,
Ejahar.
yes.
Ejahar says that an incident had happened. Somebody had slept in the
There are
bathroom.
two Ejahars, my lord. There are two Ejahars.
But basically, somebody was injured by sleeping in the bathroom. He was taken to the hospital. Then the doctor was treating him. At that time, the mob
Gathered and attacked.
attacked
Now kindly come to me, lord, page 55
of
of volume 1.
volume 1.
The incident occurred on 31/8/2019, and on that day I was serving as chowkidar of the Tea Garden Hospital. On that day around 3:20 p.m. I saw one patient being carried in Thela to Tea Garden Hospital. The patient was accompanied by 6-7 members, and they inquired about the staff present in the hospital. I told them that the hospital dresser Subhas Rajwar was present at that time. Thereafter, I informed Subhas Rajwar about the patient, who in turn asked them to come inside the hospital. Patient was made to sleep on a bed in the dressing room of the hospital. Immediately, Subhas Rajwar went to the official quarter of the hospital nurse, Ranjubala Hazarika Bora, to inform about the patient, and then he returned to the hospital. About 5 minutes later, Ranjubala Hazarika Bora came to the Tea Garden Hospital, and I could say that she did with, I could not say what she did with the patient as I was outside the hospital. About 10 to 15 minutes later, Dr. Deben Dotto arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital. As soon as the doctor arrived, 6-7 persons who accompanied the patient started questioning Deben Dotto why he came late and started raising hue and cry. However, Deben Dotto, after examining the patient, found him to have died already. On knowing about the death of the patient, 6-7 members accompanying the patient started raising hue and cry and tried to create a scene. Then Deben Dotto tried to come out of the Tea Garden Hospital. By that time, accused Manoj Mahaji arrived there all of a sudden, who is a member of Atasa, and took Deben Dotto to his chair and made him to sit there, asking him that he cannot go. Accused Manoj Mahaji also asked Deben Dotto to call Tea Garden manager. At that time, I was present in the room of Deben Dotto near him. So Deben Dotto asked dresser Subhas Rajwar to call garden manager, whose name I do not know. In the meantime, accused Manoj Mahaji, after making Deben Dotto to sit in this chair, went out of the room. After some time of Manoj Mahaji leaving the room of the doctor, a group of about 30-40 persons gathered outside the Tea Garden Hospital. By this time, welfare officer, whose name I do not know, of our garden, arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital compound, and the group of around 30-40 persons who have already gathered started assault. Seeing the incident of assault on the welfare officer by the group of 30-40 persons, I immediately bolted the door of the room from inside where Deben Dotto was sitting. Inside the room, I was present along with Dr. Deben Dotto. There were also a few women accompanying patients present inside the room. Our GNM nurse, Ranjubala Hazarika Bora, was in OPD room carrying out her duty. As the doctor was bolted from inside, the crowd from outside started banging the door and asked me to open it. Seeing their mood, as soon as I opened the door of the room, the crowd of 30-40 persons rushed inside the room, and when they made attempt to assault Deben Dotto, I tried to save Deben Dotto at that moment. Someone from behind slapped me and backside of my head and threatened me not to interfere in the matter and made me come out of the room. Those persons also came out of the room of Dr. Deven Datta. When I came out of the room, I saw Manoj Mishra Mahaji standing outside the Tea Garden Hospital, waiting for arrival of the garden manager. In the meanwhile, number of persons in the crowd started increasing. As soon as garden manager, whose name I do not know properly, arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital and went inside the room of Deven Datta, then all members of the crowd, including accused Manoj Maji, rushed inside the room of Deven Datta from outside. I could hear hue and cry thereafter immediately. Members of the crowd who went inside the room of Deven Datta after arrival of the garden manager, I could recognize accused persons, namely Sanjay Rajwar, Sanjeev Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, so and so, so and so, so and so, so and so. When I was standing outside, then I saw one person in his mobile video recording the whole incident. I do not know this said person, as he is not from our tea garden. After some time, police arrived and tried to make out the crowd moved out of the room of Deven Datta, but they did not succeed. As also one 108 ambulance at the Garden Tea Hospital, but the same was chased away by the crowd. Thereafter, more police force personnel could disperse the crowd from the room, and Deven Datta and dead body could be taken out through the backside of the door of the hospital into the police vehicle. At the time, I had no idea whether Deven Datta was taken for medical treatment or not. In cross-examination, Dresser Subhas Rajwar, after summoning the garden manager, though he returned to the Tea Garden Hospital, he again went back from the gate of the hospital. About this, I came to know later on from him. Police recorded my statement. While giving my statement, other than Mukul Rajwar and Manoj Maji, I did not name any other accused person before the police. Of the accused person whom I am named in the court today, of these accused, Arjun Maji and Deepak Rajwar accompanied the patient. As I know, they have not done anything. It is not a fact I did not see before the police that as soon as doctor arrived, 6-7 persons who accompanied the patient started questioning Deven Datta why he came late and started raising hue and cry. It is also not a fact I did not state before the police that on knowing about the death of the patient, 6-7 members accompanying the patient started raising hue and cry, tried to create the scene. Then Milord may kindly have last 2, 3. I do not, it is not a fact that I have not seen the accused person whom I have recognized and identified today in the court, specifically at the relevant point of time. It is not a fact that I have deposed postly or in court today. Then Milord will kindly come to page 28. He is the Milord, informant Manoj Gogoi. At page 28. Incident occurred on 31/8/19 around 4 p.m. At that time, when I was present at my official quarter, I got a call from Dibjyoti Borua, office staff, to inform me that there was some problem in the Tea Garden Hospital, and he rushed to the Garden Hospital. And on the way, I called Kalyanjit Bora, senior manager, and requested him to inform the police. Then after that, I called my assistant manager, Mukta Jyoti Borua, and told him to come to the Garden Hospital as there was some problem there. When I reached the Garden Hospital, I saw the welfare officer, Jivan Kurmi, staggering towards the hospital gate. Then as I drove into hospital, I saw a mob of 40 people in the garden premises, creating ruckus and shouting. So I stopped at the hospital porch and then I proceeded to the doctor's chamber, and the people gave me way to go inside. Then I tried to inquire into what had happened, and while inquiring the mob started attacking Dr. Deven Datta. Then I tried to protect him and pleaded with the mob to stop assault and calm down, but they did not listen to me, my request, and continued their attack on Deven Datta with fists and blows and kicks. After some time, some policemen came and tried to calm and control the mob, but the mob got more aggressive and they were threatened inside by the mob and were also pushed by the mob. The mob did not allow them to protect the doctor. By this time, the crowd also increased to about 200 and started breaking the glass panes of the window and door. I tried to reason with them to stop the attack, but they still continued. After some time, some more police personnel as well as magistrate arrived at the Garden Hospital premises. But in spite of that, they were not allowed to do their duty, and crowd was so big and surrounded the Garden Hospital. Finally, after some time, they were able to move the people outside from the room. And by this time, we noticed Deven Dutta was bleeding profusely from his left thigh. And it was then one of the security personnel with a saline bottle pipe as a so-and-so in the cut portion of the thigh to tie and stop bleeding. Finally, after much effort of the magistrate, was able to rescue Deven Dutta and dead body of the Sharma Maji from inside the hospital. Later on, we came to know that the patient Sharma Maji had got injured in the toilet of his house and was brought to the Garden Hospital about 3:15 p.m. Then hospital dresser Subhas Rajwar immediately informed nurse Ranjumala Bora, who came immediately and attended the patient. She called up Dr. Deven Dutta through her mobile phone, who advised her to give patient a Dextrona injection. Deven Dutta arrived soon, and after a tried to treat the patient, Sharma in the Maji in the nebulizer room, and subsequently he died. Then a crowd of about 40 people illegally entered the Garden Hospital and threatened the hospital Chowkidar Robidas and also threatened the nurse Ranjubala and stopped the hospital dresser supervisor from trying to protect the doctor. Later, Jiban Kurmi.
This Chowkidar is was supposed to be Naresh. Who is
No, my
Suresh?
lord, actually Robidas, the Suresh, not Suresh Miller.
It should be Naresh. I think.
Naresh, no.
Okay.
Deven Dutta was taken to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital for medical treatment, who was subsequently declared dead by the doctor who attended him. After the doctor was taken to the hospital, I was still present at the Garden Hospital, trying to pacify the crowd, and slowly the crowd got pacified and started dispersing. Then I instructed my assistant Muktojyoti Borwa and Sri Sumen Kundu to inquire into the incident and then tried to find out the names of the culprits and persons involved in the incident. Then after that, I went to follow up the treatment of Deven Dutta to Jorhat Medical College. I could recognize the persons present in the mob, but I do not know their subsequent name. Subsequently, after inquiring about the incident to my assistant, other office staff as well as welfare officer Jiban Kurmi, I came to know the names of the culprits. Of the persons present in the court today, I could recognize, namely Ajay Maji, Manoj Maji, Anil Maji,
Serial number
Deepak
9.
Rajwar.
Serial 9.
Yes, serial 9. So and so. Now kindly come to the cross-examination portion, Miller. It is not a fact that in the Ezahar I have not mentioned the name of 30 numbers of the accused person. It is not a fact. I did not state before police names of other accused person. I learned from my office staff as well as seeing them video clippings, as police did not ask me. The accused person whom I have identified today in the court, I know them by their faces. I do not know their names. Then, my lord, after two subpara, my assistant drafted the Ezahar. Therefore, I've gone to the draft and corrected the same, and thereafter I put my signature. My assistant also drafted the name of the accused person in draft there. Muktojyoti Bora and Sumen Kundu drafted Ezahar. I have seen clearly accused person, namely Sanjay Rajwar, Sanjeev Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar and Arun Maji assaulting Deven Dutta on the relevant day. Then Milord will kindly come to the evidence of Sorry. একটু পড়িলে আগে থাকা। Milord will kindly come to page number 119.
$36.
Yes. He is an eyewitness, my lord. My lord, I'm not reading the first para, I'm reading from the sub para. I saw accused Ajay Maji throwing the table of the doctor towards the doctor and thereafter started giving him fist blows. Ajay Maji also with the pressure machine hit Deven Datta on his head and face. 119. I saw Sanjay Rajawar, son of so-and-so, by breaking the glass pane of the window, then with a broken piece of the window glass, pierce into the right thigh of Deven Datta sir. Accused Ranjoy Rajawar also by pushing aside the table further, he pushed away the police personnel. I saw other accused Rinku Maji breaking the glass pane of the window and showing his body thereafter as a matter of pride. I saw accused Sanjeev Rajawar giving fist blow to Dr. Sir both from front as well as backside. Said accused also asked the doctor by signaling at the injured portion of his leg and saying that whether he got a lesson or not. He also pressed the injury portion of the leg of Dr. Sir by using a piece of cloth. I saw accused Vijay Rajwar giving fist to Dr. Sir and on his face wherefrom it started bleeding. Then family member of Vijay Rajwar pulled him away outside the doctor's chamber. I saw accused Batu Mahaji breaking glass panes of doctors and shouting at police and also pushed them away, pushed him by force. Then please come to the last parameter. I saw accused Bablu Rajwar shouting loudly and he chased away 108 ambulance which clearly arrived there in order to prevent Dr. Sir from being taken to hospital for treatment by ambulance. I have seen the accused persons whom I have named and identified today in the court. I saw blood on the floor of the doctor's chamber. Seeing the incident of assault upon Dr. Sir, I feel bad and so left the place. Later on, I came to know the Dr. Sir had succumbed to his injuries at the hospital the same day. Milord, nothing turned out in the cross-examination, Milord. Then, Milord, will kindly come to eyewitness number next 37. Is one Rupam Hoikia. Is also another eyewitness.
Page?
Page 124. 124. The incident occurred on 31/8/19. However, I do not remember the day on which the incident took place. I am skipping the Milord first supra then.
What is the meaning? Incident occurred on 31/9.
Yes.
I remember the date. Day.
Anyway, kindly come from the,
Maybe which day of the week? Probably.
please come to the second supra.
Date
Milord.
and day.
When I arrived outside the Garden Hospital, I saw gathering of about 400 to 500 persons. I entered inside the Garden Hospital to see Samra Maji and I saw him giving saline and oxygen. I heard attendants of Samra Maji saying that oxygen was being given to a dead man, as according to them, Samra Maji had already died, so oxygen was removed from Samra Maji. In the meantime, a few Atasa members arrived there and Dr. Devendra was made to sit at a chamber. Also, manager of the Tea Garden, whose name I do not know, arrived there and he prevented person present in the doctor's chamber from assaulting, crushing Dr. Devendra. At that time, there were about 15 to 20 persons present, and of them, accused Ajay Maji from behind gave him fist blow on the face of Dr. Devendra. I saw accused person, namely Sanjeev Rajwar and Suresh Rajwar and Kalang Maji giving fist blow from front side on the face of Dr. Devendra. I saw accused Sanjay Rajwar, after giving fist blow on the face of Devendra, went outside the chamber of Devendra. Then he removed his shirt, tied it in his hand, and thereafter he broke glass panes of the door of the hospital, and then with one piece of broken glass pierced the same in the left thigh of Devendra. I saw accused Sivamaji giving kicks on the chest of Devendra and also broke the glass panes of the doors and windows. I saw the accused Kalicharan Maji, Naina alias Swenso giving fist blow on the face of the doctor from outside the room. Then the last two, my lord, I also saw the accused Bablu Rajawar chasing away 108 ambulance which arrived at the Garden Hospital for taking Devendra to hospital for treatment. I heard the accused person, namely Dipankar Raskar, Milan Raskar, Karthik Bhumi shoutly louding and instigating police to assault Devendra. But these are the clear versions of the eyewitness. So since we are concerned with Milord, primarily with the accused Sanjay Rajwar Milord. So, Milord, the case laws governing the field has been taken note of by the learned session judge, Milord. And I find, Milord, the justification given in favor of award of death penalty to Sanjay Rajwar, in my humble submission, Milord, is adequate. It's a case where the aggravating circumstances far outweighs the mitigating circumstances, and coupled with the fact that, my lord, the case falls in the category of rare of the rarest case. Therefore, my lord, my humble submission is, my lord, it's a case where lordship will approve the death sentence granted by the learned session. Otherwise, my lord, I'll be multiplying my argument. Case laws, my lord, the basic case laws are two. My lord.
Machi Singh, Basan Singh,
Yes, these are the two judges.
principles have been laid
Yes,
down.
and my lord, the safeguards given in 323 has also been taken note of, my lord. So therefore, in my humble submission, it's a case where the death reference needs to be answered in the positive.
What about the punishments to the other accused?
My lord, that actually doesn't fall perhaps
No, no,
in
no.
my
What punishment has been given?
life.
All other lives.
That lordship will consider in the appeal, my lord.
Appeal is by whom?
The
But-
appeal is put by the Sanjay Rajwar and the other by
How many convicts? How many convicts are there?
the one is dead.
One is there. 24 is another appeal.
My lord, therefore, to summarize my argument, my lord, crime test, criminal test, RR test, everything
What
has
is crime test?
my lord.
What is crime test and what is criminal test?
My lord, the crime test, my lord, like what is the extent of planning, choice of weapon, modus of the crime, role of the accused.
Where do you get the crime test?
These are all in Supreme Court judgment, these are there.
No, this has been called up, which judgment?
Yes,
should it
yes,
die?
yes.
Rest of rare, Machi and Bachchan will be
Yes.
sufficient.
In
But
fact,
what
my
about
lord,
crime?
this case has been taken note of in the Indian judgment also, sir.
If you can kindly point it out. we
Yes,
can just
one
make a
second.
note.
Sir. If your lordship would kindly take the Machi Singh judgment, my lord. Yes. My lord, crime test basically, my lord, factors like extent of planning. Then,
No, where we.
Yes,
where,
my lord.
where can we get
Yes,
the?
yes. Then modus of crime, etc. Now, lordships will get in the judgment, Machi Singh, my lord.
82 judgment.
Yeah.
82, I think Machi Singh.
Machi Singh is, my lord, 1983, volume 3.
83.
Yes.
Here, I think 82. Is it 82?
Yes. I think.
Machi, if I remember correctly, it's 82.
Is
83. 83, yes.
Please come to para 31, my lord. Page 487.
Yes.
Having dealt with the appeals on merit from the standpoint of proof of guilt and validity or otherwise of the order of conviction, we now come face to face with the problem indicated when curtain was lifted, namely the application of the rarest of the rare cases rule to the facts of individual cases in the context of relevant guideline. Some reflection on the question of death penalty may appropriately be made before we tackle the said question in perspective of the present group of appeal. The reason why community as a whole does not endorse humanistic approach reflected in death sentence in no case doctrine are not partisan. In the first place, the very humanistic edifice is constructed on the foundation of reverence for life principle.
That has been already
Yes,
quoted by the
yes.
learned judge.
Yes.
You have already read.
No, my lord. Then my lord will kindly come to the last four sentence.
Yes.
The community may entertain such a sentiment when the crime is viewed from the platform of motive or the manner of commission of the crime or antisocial or abhorrent nature of the crime, such as, for instance, that these are the different heading, my lord. In fact, my lord, crime test is nothing but it takes note of the aggravating factors in my humble submission, my lord. Manner of commission of murder. When murder is committed in an extremely brutal, grotesque, diabolical, revolting, or dastardly manner, so as to arouse intense and extreme indignation of the community. For instance, when the house of a victim is set aflame, when the victim is subjected to inhuman acts of torture, and when a body of the victim is cut into pieces or his body. Yeah.
Crime test and criminal test.
Milord, in my humble understanding, Milord,
Yes.
crime test is synonymous with, Milord, aggravating factors, and criminal test is synonymous with mitigating circumstance.
In
In 2012.
2019 also, 1910 SCC 300, the difference is given.
Mitigating and
Mitigating and aggravating.
crime test is mitigating, Milord. Sorry,
In agreement.
crime test is aggravating factor, and criminal test is mitigating factor. Lord, in Bachchan Singh, in paragraph 202, it has delineated what are aggravating circumstances or the crime test. And my lord, at paragraph 206, the criminal test or the mitigating circumstances. Paragraph 202 of Bachchan Singh and 206 regarding mitigating circumstances.
If you come to page 751 of the document. 751.
2012. Page again, paragraph 49. Hey, 2012 4 SCC kan pabo nahi, page 37. My lord, may I give one citation? Sir?
Please.
2012 4 SCC, page 37, para 49. Where, my lord? Oh, itu. Naki. Oh, sorry. My lord, I'm getting the book, my lord. Paragraph I'll give later on, my lord. Here it clearly says aggravating circumstances within bracket crime test.
No, the same expression the learned judge has also used
Yes,
at page 751.
yes.
751, if you come to the judgment at
Yes,
751.
yes, yes.
Aggravating factors within brackets
Crime.
refers to crime.
Yes.
Now, but this expression has definitely been borrowed from some
Judgment, my lord.
judgment. We wanted
Yes.
to have a look at the judgment.
1910, of course, 1910, it is clearly stated in paragraph 12. I'll just read out this.
2000
1910 SSC, 300.
name?
Name is State of Madhya Pradesh versus Udham, paragraph 12. 10 SSC 300.
Paragraph 12.
Paragraph 12. It's a small paragraph, I'll
Yes.
read out. Here it is said, sentencing for crimes have to be analyzed on the touchstone of three tests, right? Crime test, criminal test, and comparative proportionality test. Crime test involves factors like the extent of planning, as my learned senior friend said, choice of weapon, modus of crime, disposal modus, role of the accused, antisocial and abhorrent character of the crime, state of the victim. Criminal test involves assessment of factors such as age of the criminal, gender of the criminal, economic conditions, social background of the criminal, motivation of the crime, availability of defense, state of mind, instigation by the deceased or anyone from the deceased group, adequately represented in the trial, disagreement by a judge in the appeal process, repentance, possibility of reformation.
Mitigating, all mitigating.
Mitigating,
All
mitigating. So criminal is.
And third one, madam, third one
Proportionality.
Say that it is a comparative proportionality test.
means
This they did not elaborate.
I think, my lord, perhaps the idea is like, my lord, as you understand proportionality in literally sense, my lord. It should not be disproportionate. Hala.
now if you come to the instant case,
My lord.
if you come to the instant case, so far as your rule is concerned, on the aspect of
About
the
the
reference
death penalty.
made on whether a death penalty should be upheld and confirmed by this court. So if we come to the crime test,
Yes. Yes.
the aggravating factors,
Yes.
what according to you are the aggravating factors in this?
My lord, I will respectfully agree with the view taken by the trial court, my lord, that I will just, he has taken note of 9 factors, my lord.
Yes, at page 751.
Yes,
751.
these are the 9 factors.
Hmm.
No, my lord.
751, 9
No,
factors.
he has taken, I'm giving that page, my lord. Yes, to you. Just give me a second, madam.
9 factors, yeah, that also we have noted. Just a minute.
Huh?
9 exceptional circumstances, 763
Yes,
at page paragraph 261.
yes, my lord.
That we have noted.
And as far as aggravating factors are concerned, my lord, at page 746. Sorry, not 746. Page 751,
Yes.
2, my lord, 754, 13 factors. Crime গুলি যে পেতে, এটা পালা। So, my lord, eventually the learned judge, my lord, at para 261 summarizes the view by taking note of 9 factors, my lord.
Yes, 9 exceptional circumstances. At
Wherein,
764.
my lord, the balance sheet is also taken note of both.
764.
Then, my lord, applied the test of rarest of the rare crime also. And naturally, my lord, as propounded by the Supreme Court in the later cases, read with section 354(3), that proportionality is definitely an aspect, my lord. That is a subtle question.
But let us again come to the 9 circumstances which have been held to be exceptional.
Yes, sir.
At page 763,
Yes, sir.
he caused the fatal injury, injury
Yes.
number A,
Yeah.
besides, see, injuries are by fist.
No, my lord.
No, fist.
A was in common intention,
Yes.
but D, my lord, he personally by
No,
taking.
that is what we are trying to
Yes.
explore.
Yes,
Injuries by fist, kicks, the pressure machine, to the
no, my lord, he, apart from anything else, what was taken note of by the learned court below was that injury which he caused by piercing that glass piece.
yes,
in the thigh.
that we are coming. But first, there are fist blows,
Huh.
there are kicks, there are some instrument of pressure which cause blunt injuries,
Yes.
and the main injury
Is
is
that
by
injury to the thigh?
is by a glass pin.
Yes.
So
Which he himself, my lord, after breaking it, and he ensured, and he pressed it also. And thereafter, and because the postmortem report says that injury itself is enough to cause death, and
No.
he prevented he being taken to hospital.
no, see, if we are
And my lord, once
we
he
are
was
examining,
chased out, he was chased out,
yes, he came again.
again came in, again they started assaulting.
But the conclusion arrived at by the learned judge
Yes.
that it was a cold-blooded murder and it was pre-planned.
So, my lord, naturally, my lord,
Pre-planned, cold-blooded.
no, my lord, when
30,
we
40,
say
30, 40 people come in a mob. Then they cause an injury on the thigh. Yes, in the
lordship will kindly see
thigh
as-
injury, yes, by lapse of time, it may cause death.
Huh.
But if there is an intention to kill,
What was the, no, my lord, the more serious aggravating part was that he did not permit any, my lord, treatment of the doctor. He was not allowed to be taken. When the ambulance came, he was chased away. Then, my lord, he was driven out of the room. He again re-entered into the room.
no, only from the perspective of rarest of rare,
Yeah.
we are trying to.
It's a, in my humble understanding, my lord, subject to what your lordship may say. If we take a cumulative view of the role of Sanjay Rathwar, it will fall in the category of rarest of rare because of these 9 factors, in my humble understanding. Kindly see, he did not show any regret. Murders were committed while the victim was on duty. The victim was a person rendered helpless. It was executed in a planned manner. It was absolutely devilish and dastardly, involving inhuman treatment, torture to the victim for more than 1.5 hours in a broad daylight. Then it resulted in intense and extreme indignation of the community, and it pricks and shocks the conscience of the society. The victim was a doctor and generally loved and respected by community for the services rendered by him, and her murder was committed for other than personal reason. The offense is exceptional in nature and it reflects extreme depravity by not allowing seriously injured doctor to be taken to the hospital in ambulance. The very existence of rule of law and fear of being brought to book failed to operate as a deterrent. So these are the circumstances which in the opinion of the learned court below, my lord, constitute rarest of the rare cases. And therefore, it was given. My lord will kindly say, end of the day, if this is how they treat the doctors, then my lord, it will be a chaos in the society. My lord.
No, we are only examining from the perspective of death penalty.
Yes,
We are not saying that.
So, my lord, from the perspective of death penalty, now, my lord, in my, not that, my lord, I'm a very expert in this field. In fact, I have gone to the judgments very recently, my lord, to be honest. And what I find, my lord, as per the Supreme Court guideline, the test to be applied is, my lord, crime test, criminal test, and RR test. Now, crime test is nothing but aggravating factor. Criminal test is nothing but mitigating factor. Then after balancing these two, my lord, test of rarest of the rare is to be applied. Now, it falls in the category of rarest of rare for the simple reason, my lord. My lord, kindly see the conduct. And the evidence of PW 36 and 37, who are eyewitness, gives a grim picture of the entire volatile situation. There were so many others were there. Somebody was giving a fist blow, but nobody went to the extent of, my lord, I mean, breaking the window, taking out a window pane and piercing it to the thigh. And this is good enough to cause death. And he knew it. And he ensured that nobody comes there.
In the opinion part at 811 of the PM report,
Hmm.
he has not said that injury number 1 was itself sufficient to cause death.
My lord.
At page 811 PM
Yes,
report,
yes, one second. Volume 4.
volume 4.
Yes.
Opinion part 811.
Yes.
Death was due to shock and hemorrhage following the injuries
Huh.
sustained as described, which are antemortem and homicidal in nature.
Homicidal in nature,
Yes.
my lord. This
Injury
is.
number 1 was caused by sharp weapon.
Huh.
Injuries number 2, 3, 4, and 5 caused by blunt weapon. The charges were under what sections?
Yes.
300 and Redwich?
1 minute, my lord. The charge sheet is
149.
at page
149, no what?
Yes, 140.
302 149.
149.
My lord, the impact which the crime had in the society is also an aspect, my lord, which needs to be taken note of. It was a clear case where a duty doctor, when he was attending a patient, my lord, he was killed in a very brutal manner. Had he not prevented that treatment to be given, my lord, things would have been different. Then it would not have been a case under 302 also. It would have been altogether a different story. Now, the fact that, my lord, the death was caused in a circumstance which was aggravated by the, my lord, accused, that is another aspect which Lordship should kindly take. Anyway, my humble submission is, my lord, subject to what your Lordship may say, it's a case where the trial court has duly taken note of the guidelines given by the Supreme, laid down by the Supreme Court in such matter. And in my humble submission, my lord, the reference needs to be answered in the positive. So with the lordship's kind permission, give them.
Would you like to join? And I think you've done it.
May I please, Your Lord?
Doctor, it is
Evidence,
said
evidence
that, maybe, he of course is used, the word may be solely responsible for
No,
causing
we'll
death.
go by what is the opinion in the PM report. He cannot improve his opinion
Yes.
in his oral evidence.
In his,
Because he is deposing only on the basis of records.
of the report.
Because that PM was done some long time back. He sees the report and says, he
Mhm.
cannot remember every time.
That is why he said maybe.
Maybe,
perhaps.
yeah.
Your Lordship, if Your Lordship permits, I want to start from the FIR itself and the evidence report. I have an onerous task before me, Your Lordship. In fact, Your Lordship, I would like to rely on Your Lordship. I have found, Your Lordship, I'm going through the materials, Your Lordship, more particularly the evidence of the witnesses. There are 4 sets of witnesses, Your Lordship. I have found, Your Lordship, these 4 sets of witnesses is crucial for determination of the case, Your Lordship, more particularly from the my side, Your Lordship. First set is, Your Lordship, official witnesses, Your Lordship, who were present at the time of the incident. There are second set of witnesses, Your Lordship. Those are police personnel, Your Lordship, who arrived at Your Lordship after and for telephonic call from the officials, Your Lordship. And there are third very important sets of witnesses. They are protected witnesses, Your Lordship. 7 protected witnesses are there, Your Lordship. And fourth set of witnesses, Your Lordship, there are 2 journalists, Your Lordship. They have, Your Lordship, video recorded everything, Your Lordship. And that video record has been, Your Lordship, exhibited and Your Lordship produced reported. CDC. CDC. No, dear. It is. Now, Your Lordship, the FIR, Your Lordship.
By Gogoi.
Gogoi, PW3, Your Lordship. This was dated, Your Lordship, 1st of August 2019, Your Lordship. First information report regarding killing of the Deven Dotto, son of Sowento, Amguri Town, Amguri District. I herewith inform you that an unfortunate incident happened at Kiok Tea Estate today, wherein the attending doctor of hospital dispensary of Kiok Tea Estate was killed by a mob. As learned by me, the incident happened.
His witness number?
Is PW3 or
PW3.
at around 2:35 p.m. today, one Samara Madhi, son of late Jogan Madhi of Mazur Line Kiok Tea Estate, slept in the bathroom and received hand injury. After some time, at around 3:15 p.m., he was brought on a hand-driven cart to Kiok Tea Estate Hospital by 6 and 7 persons. As and when Samara Madhi was brought to hospital, the dresser on the duty, Subhas Rajwar, Kiok Hatikola Line, PS Tiok, rushed on his bike to bring the hospital nurse Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora, wife of Dulal Bora, staff of Tiok Tea Estate, permanent address so hospital to hospital. She arrived at the hospital immediately, informed the medical officer Deven Dotto on phone, and as per direction of medical officer, she administered 1 Dexona injection. Soon the medical officer of the hospital, Deven Dotto, arrived at the hospital and started treatment with nebulizer onto the patient. By then, the unlawful riotous mob of around 40 persons gathered there at the hospital, creating ruckus. They have even assaulted and threatened Mr. Naresh Ravidas, 38, son of Ganesh Ravidas, the chowkidar of the hospital, who initially tried to pacify the mob. The members of the mob used criminal force and threatened Ranjula Hazarika Bora,
Norris is PW 12.
Lordship. PW. Ranjula is your lordship. Ranjula Punakar. PW 12 is Norris. And Ranjula is PW 20. Yes, sir. The mob confined the Deven Dotto in a room and started brutally assaulting the Deven Dotto with fists and blows with wooden leg of a table and sharp glass plates expected by breaking windows in the hospital. Mr. Dr. Deven Dotto started bleeding profusely. The welfare officer of the state, Sri Dibon Kurmi, as well as assistant manager, Sri Muktajyoti Borua, Sri Manoj Gogoi, respectively reached the hospital soon. By then, the riotous mob grown to almost 200 and 250.
Just a minute.
Sure.
Who is this Manoj Gogoi?
Manoj Gogoi is the Your Lordship informant, Your Lord.
Then he writes Manoj Gogoi.
Lordship, in fact, this was drafted by someone else, Your Lord.
That is
Muktajyoti. That's why, Your Lordship. He only put his signature in this paper. That has been, Your Lordship. Manoj Gogoi respectively reached the hospital soon. By then, the riotous mob grown to almost 200 to 250 personnel. The irate mob continues to engage in damage and destruction of the hospital property and continue to assault Dr. Deven Dotto. After receipt of the information, police came from Tiok police station have reached the spot, but the mob far outnumbered the police and did not allow police to do their duty. The mob did not pay heed to Executive Magistrate Sri Bhaskar Rajvanshi and not allowed him to perform his duties to maintain law and order. The 108 ambulance that was called to attend the medical situation was not allowed by the members of the mob to access either Semara Maji or Deven Dotto with great difficulty, and after reinforcement with additional police personnel by force, Samura Maji and Dr. Deven Dotto could be accessed by police and shifted them to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital. Deven Dotto was declared brought dead at the hospital due to brutal physical assault by the lawful riotous mob by fists and blows, assault with wooden leg of the table, and causing serious injury to sharp glasses blades extracted from windows. The medical officer of Tiok Tea State Hospital, Sri Deven Dotto, died, and following persons along with some unknown persons have killed him by being the member of the unlawful riotous mob. The persons who killed Deven Dotto along with some more unknown persons are these: Sanjay Rajwar, Sandeep Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, Ajay Maji, Deveswar Rajwar, Upendra Bhumi, Ratul Rajwar, Bablu Rajwar, Anil Maji,
Okay,
Arun Maji. Then
30 of them have been
30,
named.
30 of
All
them.
30 have been convicted.
No, Your Lord. 6 were, Your Lord, acquitted.
6 were acquitted. 24 convicted. Out of them, Sanjay has been given
Death sentence.
death sentence.
Now then, you are hereby request kindly to take necessary legal action. Now, Your Lordship will kindly note for a moment here, Your Lordship. This affair was lost. It will come up from the Your Lordship, the evidence of the PWC, Your Lordship, at 10 p.m. Your Lordship. The incident occurred at 4, Your Lordship. After 6 hours, this affair has been lost. But in this particular affair, it has not been stated, Your Lordship, that the injury, that fatal injury, alleged fatal injury, Your Lordship, caused by Sanjay Rajwar. That fact has not been mentioned in this particular FIR. That was an important fact, Your Lordship. And why I am talking about the time, Your Lordship, time gap, Your Lordship, this is because, Your Lordship, from 4 to 10, Your Lordship, they have enough time, Your Lordship. They have their evidences shows, Your Lordship, that after consulting with the various, Your Lordship, official staff, they have find out the name of this person, Your Lordship, what has happened.
Now, what is the date of this affair?
It is, Your Lordship, 31, same day, Your Lordship.
31/8, 2019.
Lord. On the same,
And the registration?
Your
No,
Lordship,
registration.
Your
On page
Lordship,
5A.
Lordship.
Why is this 28, 2019? First line in 5A. FIR number 434/19 date 28, 2019.
28, 2019.
Have you got or not?
Lordship, 5A. 31.
Occurrence of
Occurrence of the day,
occurrence of the day is
31.
31/8 around 3:50 p.m.
10:10.
Information received 31/8,
8,
10:10.
10, Your Lord.
Hmm.
It may be a typographical mistake
Hmm.
also.
It have been 31/8 perhaps.
Then there was a second affair about which Learned Senior Council has
Occurrence 31/8, 19, 3:50 p.m. Information received
put again.
31/8, 19, 10 p.m. Yes.
Lord. Now there was a second affair also, Your Lordship, get it at page 6, by the son of the deceased, Your Lordship, which Your Lordship has become part of this under section 162 of CRPC, Your Lordship, not separately registered. Here, Your Lordship, this was dated, Your Lordship, 4/9/2019, Your Lordship.
Yes.
May I read this, Your Lordship?
Yes.
Lord. With due respect and honor, I, the undersigned, beg to state that on 31/8/2019, in the afternoon hour, a mob of 200 and 250 furious people detaining my father in Kiok, the hospital, assaulted with fists and blows, wooden leg of table, sharp brass blade, and cut the artery of the right leg. As a result of massive bleeding was caused from the body of my father. The mob stopped the 108 ambulance and not allowed to bring my father to doctor. Even those people not allowed a glass of water to my father. Around 45 minutes, my father was rescued by police and in presence of the executive magistrate and shifted him to Jorhat Medical College Hospital. But my father succumbed to his injuries on the way to hospital, and doctor of Jorhat Medical College Hospital declared my father brought death. The whole incident was recorded by some people, and in the video clippings, it is very clear how heinously and the persons who have killed my father. Immediately after the incident at the place of occurrence, one Sri Manoj Maji, Atka leader of Kiok East, had given an interview before the electronic media in a very violent manner that my father was inefficient doctor, he was old and ailing person, and memorandum was given to the management of Kiok Estate for 3 times to remove my father, questioned the management that why my father was not removed from T estate, and claims that the management is responsible for the incident. It is very clear that the state Manoj Mazi is one of the main instigators of the incident from the very beginning, and he was present amongst the mob. The statement of the state Manoj Mazi clears that the instigation led to the death of my father. The death of my father was pre-planned murder, and the Manoj Mazi is directly involved in the state conspiracy. The artery of my father was cut with full knowledge that a person cannot survive if the artery is dissected. My father has got victim of conspiracy. Under the above, I hereby request you to register a case and take necessary action against the accused person and particularly against Manoj Mazi. It is hereby informed you that for remaining busy in funeral and other religious activities, the affair has got delayed. Now, Your Lordship, even this, Your Lordship, although after 4 days of the incident that has taken place, the name of Sanjay Raju, Your Lordship, as a one of the culprits who has caused this fatal injury is not mentioned, Your Lordship. Now, Your Lordship, ultimately, Your Lordship, the case was certified, Your Lordship, under section 302, Your Lordship, and 149 by the learned trial court, and finally, trial proceeded, Your Lordship. Now, if Your Lordship comes to page 15, this is the evidence of PW1, Your Lordship. He was an assistant manager, your lordship.
Why separate? Manoj Maji. Manoj Maji is one of the convicts.
Convict.
Why two pages? Additional charge? Why additional charge?
Probably your lordship, initially your lordship, because of some reasons, your lordship 302 was probably not under 302
How
not
is it
charged.
possible? He dies immediately
No,
on the.
subsequently it is additional charge.
Why additional charge?
Lord. First, your lordship will kindly see.
No, it is not even if it's a case that after lodging of the
Lordship.
Ajahar he passes away,
Lordship.
then also charges are added at the time of investigation only.
The investigation, your lordship, 302 was there. Charge sheet is also 302 is there, your lordship. Now, your lordship, in the first it says, your lordship,
Consideration of judge only for.
There is 302 in 8 heads also.
Understood, but why is an additional charge?
oh, let us know. But it is says,
It's a major mistake by not adding 302. Then regarding.
No, but same date. 8/9, same date.
same date.
Common object is, common object
Same
is
date,
not
same
there.
date.
149 is not there in the additional charge.
No, understood, but 302, why should it come as an additional charge? That should be the primary charge. FIR itself has talked about the aspect of killing. Nonetheless, okay,
Lord.
but of the same date, 8/9.
Same date, your lordship.
This is been-
Last one, your lordship, page 9.
8/9,
89, 89,
both
Nine.
8/9.
9
What?
was
23,
20.
10. This is 149, then 148, 149. Last one is separate.
Why three? Why alteration?
Your
of
lordship,
charge?
probably judgment has made mention about that, your lord. Four, no? Your lordship may kindly come to para 10 of the judgment, your lordship. Para 9 and 10, your lordship.
Just a minute, please. In the top, alteration of charges from 186 and 149. 186 is obstructing.
Then.
353 and 149. Even 350, even 302, even 302 was not added.
Yes. Instead of.
Where is the charge sheet of the police? Is it there? I think it's in the record.
What's for it?
May not be in the paper book.
What it-
No, why?
No, access.
No, this
Volume 4.
now we'll not go back, but come to page 7, please.
what's
Page 7.
7 of
Paper
volume 1.
book. Yes, first pages are serial. You see on the top,
This is alteration.
alteration of charge from 186 to 140, 186, 149 to 353.
353 to
So
1.
even 186, that obstruction of public servant.
Lord.
Even at that time, there was no 302.
Huh.
Then
No, this was.
No, your lordship may kindly come to
On-
para 8 and 9, 10 of the judgment, your lordship.
why later, madam, 389, same date,
Yes.
page 7, page 8.
8, 9, same date, alteration and additional same date. Initially, it was 2 years back. First charge was those with 8 heads. Thereafter, Lordship, he is correct, he has given some date. Then Lordship, it's page number 574.
From 573, para 8 of the judgment, your lordship.
23,
না,
10,
তাতে আছে
19.
কথা।
8 heads.
23, 19. 23, 19.
Accordingly, all the accused persons, all of whom were in jail, has produced before the court, then hearing learned advocates of both
So
sides.
23, 9, 19, the charge with 8 heads at page 9 had 302,
Yeah.
149.
Everything.
Then why was it changed?
See his reasoning.
Now, was it a,
Paragraph 10.
was there a necessity to change?
It is already there. He has just omitted 149 from the later charge.
Additional charge.
কিন্তু ইয়াৰ পৰা
149 was there in earlier charge.
it was there.
Learned just says, Your Lordship, that thereafter on 8/9/2020 and one additional charge under section 302 IPC was framed, as no search for substances offense under section 30 IPC was found to be framed earlier.
Why?
And another charge under
Why
section,
fifthly at page 10?
Lordship,
Fifthly?
This was along with 149 means with common object.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Common object.
Abuse of software, one common object.
But what he's written. What's there?
No, 149 as such cannot be, is not punishable. It has to be connected with some offense. So connected with 302. So there is no error as such.
Yes, but then he did it independently.
What about
302 as a substance.
Okay, these are all gone. Much water has flown.
Lordship,
So let's
Lordship.
go
Note that
ahead.
these points have
Yes.
not been raised also. Page 15, Your Lord, PW1.
See, since the witnesses are numbered, so you
56.
kindly confine your, if you want to rely upon everything, you are free to do your,
Lord, I will
you're
not.
on a very important aspect, but whatever is not relevant, you may skip those parts.
I will, Your Lord. That's why, Your Lordship, I have Find out
Use
four
your,
sections.
use your discretion.
Lordship,
We will not stop you, but just to save time and
Lord.
make it brief.
Lord,
15.
15. PW1.
PW1. Who is he?
He
Someone-
is Your Lordship, assistant manager of the garden, Your Lord. On 31/8/2019, around 4 p.m., I went to Tiok Tea Estate Factory as that day was my last working day, as my father, my order of transfer to Kakozan Tea Estate was there. While entering the tea factory, I got information from the gate chowkidar of the factory that some chaos was going on in the tea garden hospital. Thereafter, I went inside the tea factory, assuming that similar incident of chaos generally takes place in the tea garden. So initially, I ignored. Then one of the staffs, namely Sri Ajoy Bapi, surname I do not know, informed me that doctor of the hospital had been assaulted. This man has not been examined. Then I took the motorcycle of Ajoy Bapi and went towards the garden hospital. Before reaching the hospital at a distance, I could see a huge crowd in front of the hospital, which even covered the road in front of the hospital. I still went to the crowd and asked the mob what had happened. While I was there, I could hear the noise coming from the doctor's chambers, the noise of glass breaking, door banging. Then I asked the mob who else from the management is there. I was informed that state manager Manoj Gogoi and factory assistant Sri Muktajuti Burwa are inside and being held as hostage, and they were debarred from using their mobile phones, which I learned to know from the mob. Thereafter, I found that Research and Development Manager Sri Kolyanjit Bora, who stood beside me, I asked him to come in my bike so that we can go to the Thana. Then we reached Thana. We were informed by officer in charge of Tiok police station that they have already got the information and force has been deployed and on the way. Thereafter, me and Kolyanjit Bora returned back to the tea factory, dropped Sri Kolyanjit Bora and asked him to stay at the tea factory while I go in the mob. Then I went to the garden hospital. I found around 2 policemen and 5 BSF personnel already present there, and to the mob, I went inside the hospital to the doctor's chamber while the mob chanting slogans in Assamese language that this doctor should die and will not let him go. Entering the doctor's chambers, I found that the police personnel with a towel pressing on the Dr. Deven Datta's right thigh and blood was all around the floor. Deven Datta was in subconscious state and he identified me and told the last statement, so far I know that my femoral artery has been cut, call the ambulance or I'll die. I found him brutally assaulted with a right eye blacked out and he was not in a position to hold his hand. Rather, it was hanging on both sides. Then I asked my office staff to Deputy Bora to call 108 ambulance, but to my surprise, I found that ambulance was already on the gate. When I disconnected the phone, as someone might have already contacted. Then I moved out of the chamber of Deven Doctor to escort the ambulance to the backside because in front it was full of mob. When I approached the ambulance, I found the mob shifting from the front of doctor's chambers towards the ambulance and they asked the ambulance driver to evacuate from the hospital premises. However, I instructed them to come backside. The ambulance came, the doctor was open, the mob came at the backside of the door of ambulance, banged in, and the ambulance was crowded with the mob something the doctor will not be allowed to go for the treatment and we want him out to die out here. Thereafter, the ambulance driver might be afraid and went out along with the ambulance. Then again, I came back to the chamber of Dr. Deven Dr. called up our RDN manager and Sri Kolyanjit Bora to call the local administration to got more force. Very soon, this CRPF arrived. The mob in front of chamber of Dr. Deven Dr. was moved back down the veranda and our state manager Manoj Gogoi was trying to or rather was requesting the mob to let the doctor go for treatment. However, the mob was arrogant, we were chanting the same as stated above. Thereafter, when I went inside the doctor's chamber from the veranda, I found CRPF and police personnel had already taken Deven Dotto out of this on his chair by holding the same. The Deven Dotto was taken to Jorhat Medical College Hospital in police vehicle. Later on, the local administration, including the circle officer, came to the place of occurrence as well as police and collected articles from the place of occurrence. Later on, I came to know that Dr. Deven Dotto succumbed to his injuries. When I returned from Thana, I was going to the chamber of Dr. Deven Dotto. Then I saw accused Sri Manoj Maji outside the chamber addressing 8-10 people. Few of them were recording the events and he was addressing that the doctors should have been removed long before by the management and we have given application to the manager to remove him. But to my knowledge, we have not received any such application. Today, I have been accused, I have seen accused Sri Manoj Maji in the court. In the mob, I could identify the accused persons, namely Kalang Maji, Ratul Rajuar, Kartik Bhumis, Sanju Maji, whom I have seen today in the court. These four accused persons shut the door of the ambulance and obstructed the ambulance from taking the door doctor to the hospital for medical treatment. The rest of the accused persons whom I have seen in the court today were identified by the other staff and state manager from a video footage as well as from the staff who were present inside the hospital during the time of assault upon Deven Dotto. They were involved in the incident of assault upon the Deven Dotto. Caesar list was prepared by the investigating officer in presence of me and Sri Kolyanjit Bora. Exhibit 1 is the Caesar list. Exhibit 1, Exhibit 1, 2, Exhibit 1, 3, Exhibit 1, 4, Exhibit 1 for my signature. By the Exhibit 1, 30 numbers of articles were seized by the investigating officer. Today, I have seen following seized articles and identified as follows. Exhibit 1 is the broken stethoscope of the light gray color and pioneer written on one hand without right ear tube and with ear tip. Material Exhibit 2 is the bent ear tube of stethoscope. Exhibit 3 is the earpieces of the stethoscope, light gray in color. Exhibit 4 is the broken manometer of silver color with DISA written on the broken end. Material Exhibit 5 is the pressure controlling knob of manometer. Material Exhibit 6 is the blood collection vial containing thermocol, square shape having 5 number of transparent blood collection vials made in plastic with red cap. Exhibit 7 is the blue color revolving chair of about 40 inch height having blood stains. Exhibit 8 is the wooden leg of table of 23 inch in length and side arm of about 11 inch, skewed T-shape having blood stain on one end, side arm end. Material Exhibit 9 is the empty blood connection valve made in plastic with straight cap. Material Exhibit 10 is the opening handle of the table drawer, black colored containing blood stain picked up with gloves. Material Exhibit 11 is the broken pieces of wooden table about 28 inch in the length and 13 inch wide, width. Material Exhibit 12 is the broken pieces of wood table about 20 inch in length and 30 inch in width. Material Exhibit 13 is the white colored torn curtain cloth about 30 inch length and 40 inch width. Material exhibit 14 is the broken block board of about 22-inch length and 7-inch width with a TOP hospital. Material
Yeah,
exhibit,
you can leave this.
then your lordship is the, then material exhibit 16, 17 are the glass pieces, your lordship. These are important, is the broken glass pieces,
No, even before that, you have broken glass pieces.
lordship,
At page 18 itself,
Lordship.
broken,
It is-
11,
it is
11
there.
is broken glass.
lordship.
Oh, no, not 11.
No, your lordship, 11 is the broken wooden table.
Wooden. Correct.
Glasses are from your lordship,
20.
material exhibit.
Yes,
16.
17 onwards, 17, 16, yes.
These are the your lordship glass pieces, your lordship, and your lordship material exhibit 21 is the broken glass piece of about 30 inch in the length of conical shape having blood stain on narrower end and some fingerprints on the other end picked up with gloves. This is important, your lordship. These, according to them, is the chance fingerprint, your lordship, which they have sent for your lordship, comparison with my fingerprints, your lordship. This is one of the your lordship factors taken into consideration for holding me guilty in this particular case, your lordship. More particularly for the offense of your lordship.
No, there are two aspects. See,
Lord.
once 149 is there,
I
the
can come by way of that.
overt act is not required by each of the individuals.
Lordship, that is there, your
Done by somebody else will automatically break
Lord.
rope in.
Lord.
We are also on the aspect of the capital punishment imposed on you.
Lord.
One of the
Lord.
so,
There are two, your lordship. One is the appeal itself, your lordship, and the
Yes.
other part is the punishment, your
Yes.
lordship.
but
Material,
otherwise, these fingerprints were sent for FSL.
yes, your lordship, to fingerprint expert, your lordship. They have your lordship compared it, your lordship. I will come to
What
that.
is the finding?
Finding is that the comparison is positive, your lordship.
It belongs to you.
Belong. But I will show that your lordship from the materials, your lordship, that the manner in which the fingerprint was taken, science fingerprint, is not the procedure they have ought to have followed, your lordship. Now, your lordship may kindly come to cross-examination part, your lordship. Before police,
Yes.
this is important, your
Mhm.
lordship. Before police, I have stated that I do not know about the persons who were involved in assaulting the Dr. Deven Doctor. I also stated before police that I did not see the accused person assaulting the doctor. Very first line of this cross-examination, your lordship, negated everything that he has stated, your lordship, makes it an improvement. I am not working in the TIOC division of TIOC East, and as such, I am not directly involved with the workers of the State Division. Though I have identified the 4 accused persons other than Sri Manoj Mazi, I do not know their name. Before police, at the time of investigation, I did not get chance to identify those accused persons. I was called to Jorhat police stations to identify the accused persons, but I was not exposed to them for security reasons. I did not state before police that accused Sri Manoj Mazi was outside the chamber addressing 8 and 10 people. I did not state before police that Sri Manoj Gogoi, manager, and Muktajyoti Borua were confined outside doctor's chambers, but I stated that they were inside the chamber. I did not state before the police that Sri Manoj Gogoi and Sri Mukta Gogoi, Muktajyoti Borua were restrained from using mobile phones at the time. We all in the management were not in peace of mind. I did not state before police that after I returned from Thana, the mob was chanting the Assamese language that the doctor will not be allowed to go for treatment and we want him to die out here. I do not remember if I had stated before the police that I found the police personnel with a towel pressing on the Dr. Deven Dotto's right thigh and blood was all around the floor. Dr. Deven Dotto was in subconscious state and he identified me and told the last statement, so far as I know, that my femoral artery has been cast. Call the ambulance or I'll die. It is a fact that I did state before the police the name of Sri Debbojyoti Borua for calling ambulance, but I had mentioned the calling of one staff. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that when the ambulance came, the door was open, the mob came from the backside door of the ambulance, banged it, and ambulance was crowded with the mob chanting, "Doctor will not be allowed to go for treatment. We want him to die out here." It is a fact that I did not state before the police that state manager Sri Manoj Gogoi was trying to, or rather was requesting the mob to let the doctor to go for treatment. However, the mob was arrogant and were chanting the same as stated above. I did not state before the police that accused Manoj Gogoi instigating about 8-10 people outside the hospital. It should have been Mazi, Manoj Mazi. I did not state before the police the names of Sri Kalang Mazi, Ratul Rajwar, Kartik Bhumis, Santi Bhumis, whom I have seen today in the court present in the mob. I have not stated before the police that these 4 accused persons present in the mob shutting the door of the ambulance, but I have stated that they have banged the door of the ambulance. At the time of the incident, the hospital, there were 5 patients. At the relevant time prior to the incident of assault on Dr. Deven Dotto and his subsequent death, there was death of another person whose family and relatives might be present. Attendance of the patients undergoing treatment in the hospital and passerby passing through the road by the side of the hospital might be present. I did not state before the police about the staff identifying the accused persons from video footage. I came to know later that some permanent tea garden workers were present in the hospital campus. I cannot say whether such permanent tea garden workers were involved in the incident. There were 200 and 250 members in the mob, and all were not engaged in the incident of assault upon Dr. Deven Dotto. It is not a fact that I have deposed falsely in the court today. I inform Manoj Gogoi, this is where my senior colleague. It is not a fact that they being my senior colleague, I have deposed falsely in the court today. Now, your lordship will see from their cross-examination, your lordship, most of it, what he has stated in his chief, your lordship, are improvement, your lordship, than what he has stated before the police under section 161 CRPC. Now, your lordship, PW2, your lordship, I am not reading your lordship. PW3, your lordship, the informant, your lordship. He was the person who went to Thana, your lordship, PW2, your lordship. He has not seen the incident, your lordship. He did not went to the place of occurrence, your lordship. PW3 is the informant, your lordship. He was present all along, your lordship, from 4 onwards, your lordship, in the room in which this incident took place, your lordship.
PW3,
PW3. He is the,
informant.
no, he signed the FIR, your lordship, although it was written by someone else. Incident occurred on 31/8/2019 around 4 p.m. At that time, when I was present in my official house quarter, I got a call from Debbojyoti Borua, the office staff, who informed me that there was some problem in the Garden Hospital, and he heard that Deven Dotto had been assaulted. So I got onto my jeep and rushed to the Garden Hospital. On the way, I called Kullanjit Bora, he is PW2, your lordship, of Tea Estate, and requested him to inform the police. Then after that, I called my assistant manager Muktajyoti Borua, he is PW28, your lordship, and told him to come to the Garden Hospital as there was some problem there. When I reached the Garden Hospital, I saw the welfare officer, Jibon Kurmi, he is PW53, staggering towards the hospital gate. Then as I drove into the hospital, I saw a mob of around 40 people in the Garden Hospital premises creating ruckus and shouting. So I stopped at the hospital porch and I proceeded to the doctor's chambers, and the people gave me way to go inside. Then I tried to inquire into what had happened, and while inquiring, the mob started attacking Dr. Deven Dotto. Then I tried to protect him and pleaded with the mob to stop the assault and calm down. But they did not listen to my request and continued their attack on Deven Dotto with fists and blows and kicks. After some time, some policemen came and tried to come and control the mob, but the mob got more aggressive and they were threatened inside by the mob and were also pushed by the mob. The mob did not allow them to protect the doctor. By this time, the crowd had also increased to about 200 people and started breaking the glass panes of windows and doors. I tried to reason with them to stop the attack, but they still continued. After some time, some more police personnel as well as magistrate arrived in the Garden Hospital premises, but in spite of that, they were not allowed to do their duty. The crowd was so big and surrounded the Garden Hospital. Finally, after some time, they were able to move the people outside from the room, and by this time, we noticed that Deven Dotto was bleeding profusely from his left thigh. It was then that one of the security personnel with a saline bottle pipe as a tourniquet in the cut portion of the thigh to tie and stop the bleeding. Finally, after much effort, the magistrate was able to rescue Dr. Deven Dotto and the dead body of Samra Mazi from the inside the hospital. Later on, we came to know that the patient Samra Mazi had got injured in the toilet of his home and was brought to the Garden Hospital at around 3:15 p.m. Then the hospital research Subhas Rajwar immediately informed the nurse Srimati Ranjula Bora, who came immediately and attended the patient. She called up the doctor, that is Deven Dotto, though her mobile phone, who advised her to give the patient a Dexona injection. Deven Dotto arrived soon after and tried to treat the patient Samuramazi in the nebulizer room, and subsequently he died. Then a crowd of about 40 people illegally entered the Garden Hospital and threatened the hospital Sukidar Suresh Ravi Das. This could be Nora Escalante. And also threatened the nurse Ranjula Bora and stopped the hospital research Subhas Rajwar from trying to protect the doctor. Later, says Jibon Kurmi. The welfare officer also came to help Dr. Deven Dotto, but he was also assaulted and sent away. At this point, I came to the Garden Hospital. The Deven Dotto was taken to the Jorhat Medical College and Hospital for medical treatment, who was subsequently declared dead, and doctors who attended him. After the doctor was taken to the hospital, I was still present at the Garden Hospital, trying to pacify the crowd, and slowly the crowd got pacified and started dispersing. Then I instructed my assistants Sri Muktajuti Borua and Sri Somen Kundu to inquire into the incident and then try to find out the names of the culprits and persons involved in the incident. Then after that, I went to the follow up the treatment of Dr. Deven Dotto to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital. I could recognize the persons present in the mob, but I do not know their name. Subsequently, after inquiring about the incident to my assistants, other staffs, as well as welfare officer Jibon Kurmi, I came to know that the names of the culprits accused. Of the accused persons present in the court today, I could recognize accused persons Ajoy Maji, Manoj Maji, Anil Maji, Deepak Rajwar, Devestor Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, Devestor Rajwar, Sanjeev Rajwar, Sanjoy Rajwar, Rinku Maji, Pauline Rajwar, and Sri Sanju Maji. The names of other accused persons I learned from the office staff as well as
Deveshwar has been written twice.
Devestor. There are two Devestor and two Sanjoy, Your Lordship. Two Sanjay and two Deveswar.
One is Sanjeev, not Sanjay.
No, Sanjay is another Sanjay is there. Your Lord. He is given life imprisonment.
Sanju.
No, Sanjay. One is Sanjay, Your Lordship, Taklu, alias Taklu, and
There is one Sanju also. Well, number 12.
number 9, number 10. This Sanjay about whom he
Sanju.
is talking about is not known. Your Lord. But in later part, Your Lordship, what they did, Your Lordship, Sanjay Raja, son of so and so. That to differentiate between both people. Deven Dotto, other than piece blows and kicks, he was also assaulted by broken glass pieces. As to the incident, I lost the FIR. Exhibit Azahar, Exhibit 2 is the Azahar when Exhibit 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, Exhibit 2, 5 are signature, Exhibit 2, 6 is the printed form of FIR under Section 164 of CRPC. Exhibit 2, 7 is my signature. I was present when police held inquest over the dead body of Deven Dotto. Exhibit 3 is the inquest report, where Exhibit 1 is my signature. Later on, I came to know that over the date of Samra Mazi incident, this case had taken place. Cross-examination. Paragraph at page number 2, paragraph 2 of the exhibit 2, as I also mentioned my name there around 9. This is not required. Right? The police recorded my statement after about 4 or 5 days of the incident. It is not a fact that the Azahar I have not mentioned the names of 30 numbers of accused persons. I did not state before police the names of the other accused persons. I learned from office staff as well as seeing the video clippings, as police did not ask me. The accused persons, this video clippings, Your Lordship will kindly note. This video clipping, Your Lordship, can be seen from the evidences, Your Lordship. Number of witnesses is referred to this video clipping. And Your Lordship will kindly see police recorded my statement after 4 and 5 days. And video reference to video clippings, Your Lordship. But this video clipping was in fact seized on 14th, Your Lordship. 14 days after the incident, Your Lordship. I will show from this list, Your Lordship. It is not a fact that in the Azahar I have not names of other accused persons I learned from the officers seeing video clippings as police did not ask me. The accused persons whom I have identified today in the court, I know them by their faces. I do not know by their names. From WhatsApp and video clippings taken by one person whose name I do not want to disclose due to security reason, I came to know about the involvement of the accused persons named in the Azahar. In Exhibit 2, I did not mention about the names of accused persons Sri Kalang Maji and Manoj Maji. My assistant drafted the Azahar. Thereafter, I gone through the draft and corrected the same, and thereafter I put my signature. My assistant who drafted the names of the accused person in the draft Azahar, Muktajyoti Borua and Sri Homen Kundu drafted the Azahar initially. I have seen clearly the accused persons, namely Sanjoy Rajwar, Sanjeev Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, Arun Maji assaulting Dr. Deven Dutta on the relevant day. When I reached the Garden Hospital at the time of hospital staff were not there, as they were chased by the gathering of the mob. When I reached the Garden Hospital, doctor had already sustained injury, was not in a state of reply properly. Sri Debojyoti Borua also informed me about the incident. He did not accompany me to the Garden Hospital how I went there. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that a crowd of about 40 people illegally entered the Garden Hospital and threatened the hospital Sukidar Suresh Providas, who was threatened the nurse Ranjula Borua and stopped the hospital research Subhas Rajwar from trying to protect the doctor or later Jibon Kurmi, and the welfare officer also came to help Dr. Deven Dutta, but he was assaulted in the same way. I did not state before the police that my assistant had named the 30 accused person. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that Dr. Deven Dutta, other than piece blows and kicks, was also assaulted by broken glass pieces. Dr. Chamber is approximately 15 into 15 feet in size. In the chamber, there is one table of 3 into 4 feet size, one chair and Dr. one tool. I do not know whether in the chamber there is one bed for patient as well as the self. It is not a fact that Azahar is not genuine. I have mentioned it. This is our your lordship not. Then your lordship, PW4 your lordship, the magistrate your lordship, you have done the your lordship inquest your lordship. And he was present there also your lordship. On 31/8/2019, I was at York Revenue Circle as circle officer and also attached as law and order magistrate. On the day around 4:35 p.m., I got a call from the district special branch, one Hendik, name I do not remember, informing me about violent situation in York Tea Garden Hospital. Immediately, I called the officer in charge of PS, but I could not get connected with him. So I went to the police station myself, where I did not find the officer in charge, and I was informed that he had gone to Jorhat for some official work. So I instructed the sentry at the police station to send me as many as police personnel to Triok Tea Garden Hospital for controlling the situation. Thereafter, I moved on my own to Triok Tea Garden Hospital. On that day, I got connected with the officer in charge, Triok PS, and asked him to come immediately to the spot and send as many as police personnel. I reached somewhere about 4:50 p.m. and saw a violent crowd of about 250 to 300 persons, including women, men, and young boys, since they were making gathering in the main entrance of the hospital of the tea garden. So I went inside to the back door of the hospital. Upon entering the hospital, I saw one dead body which was lying on a stretcher, and later I came to know that the dead body to be of one Samra Mati. There were few attendants with the dead body. Leaving them aside, I went to the room where Dr. Deven Dutta was confined. He was sitting on a chair and already seriously injured on his right side. He was already sitting on a pool of blood thereby his chair, and he was profusely bleeding. He had bled already too much. There were few police personnel who were trying to stop the violent crowd from coming inside the room where doctor was there. Even I tried to
Is
pacify
it relevant?
Lordship.
Is it
Just
relevant?
your lordship, since he was
He had
there,
done the inquest.
lordship,
He's only proved the inquest report.
lordship. Then your lordship may kindly, 5 is not required, your lordship, 6 is also not required.
The inquest report is exhibit what?
Lordship, inquest is there.
He said that
No,
he
he has not done the inquest.
has not done the inquest.
No, he has not done it.
You said he had done the inquest.
Lordship. Inquest report to suspect.
But he had not proved the inquest report.
Lordship, that has not been.
He had gone
Page
to the,
796 is your
he had
lordship.
gone to the place of occurrence.
He has gone to the
On
place
being
of
informed.
on being informed as an executive magistrate, your lordship.
Law and order.
Page 797, your lordship. Then your lordship may kindly come to PW9, your lordship.
PW5, who is he?
PW5 is your lordship. One reporter, your lordship. Your lordship, he went with two other witnesses, your lordship. They are PW 42 and 43. Then your lordship, he went back, your lordship. This 42 and 43 remain. They recorded this entire incident in their mobile phone. PW6 is a sweeper, your lordship. Seven is also your lordship. Driver of the ambulance, your lordship. Your lordship may kindly come to PW8, your lordship.
Yes.
Hiraj Mahal. He was an attendant in the
PW
8, your lordship.
page.
Page 42. He was a male attendant. Your lordship. On that day around 3:15 p.m., I went to Tea Garden Hospital for my duty, and before I reached there, one patient, Samara Mazi, was already taken there. I also saw Samara Mazi was given water by his wife, and saw our hospital research Subhas Rajwar was attending other patients. Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora's DMN nurse on OPD duty. At that time, our sir, that is Depen Dotto, was not at the hospital. When our sir was called over phone by Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora, DMN nurse, then Depen Dotto came to the hospital. I saw him going to his chamber, whereas I was on OPD duty. While I was on OPD duty, I heard hue and cry inside the room of Dr. Depen Dotto. When I went for duty at the hospital and saw Samara Mazi being given water by his wife, at that time accused Deepak Rajwar was by their side, and he threatened me to go out, else I will be killed. Also, I could gather at that the people numbering about 15 who were present in the side of Samra Mazi were in the high-tempered and angry mood and waiting for the arrival of the Depen Dotto. I could recognize and identify the accused persons, namely Deveswar Rajwar, Bablu Rajwar, Deepak Rajwar, Rinku Mazi, Milan Rajwar, who were present inside the room where Samra Mazi was kept for treatment, and they were in very high temper, angry mood, and for waiting for arrival of Dr. Depen Dotto. The room from where we used to give medicines, I along with Ranjula Hazarika Bora, DMN nurse were there, was bolted from outside, as well as the door was blocked by putting bands so that we cannot go out. As I was confined inside the room, so I cannot say how many persons enter into the room where Deven Dotto was there. Around 4:40 p.m., I could manage to go out of the room where I was kept confined and went towards Balizan out of fear. Around 6 p.m., I returned to my house. From television, I came to know that Dr. Deven Dotto has been killed. Next day of the incident, that is on Sunday, police summoned me around 12 noon for recording my statement. I did not state before the police that accused Deepak Rajwar threatened me to go out, else I will be killed, as police did not ask me. I also did not state before the police the names of accused persons, namely Deveswar Rajwar, Bablu Rajwar, Deepak Rajwar, Rinku Mati, Sir Milan Rajwar, as police did not ask me, and I was under tremendous fear. I did not state before the police that the persons numbering about 15 who were present by the side of Samara Mazi were in very high-tempered mood, an angry mood, and waiting for arrival of Dr. Deven Dotto. I also did not state before the police that the room in which I, along with Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora, GNM nurse, were present was bolted from outside, as well as the door was blocked by putting bands so that we cannot go out, as police did not ask me. It is not a fact that I do not have any good relation with accused so and so. So now, Your Lordship, his statement, Your Lordship, apparently is, Your Lordship, completely improvement than what he said before the police under section 161. And his statement, these statements are important, Your Lordship, that the people are in a very angry mood, that he has been blocked. This now, Your Lordship.
Okay, we'll
No.
come back at 2 o'clock. Perhaps today it not be completed,
Not. Will be
Okay, but we'll try to complete it by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Other side, of course, we need to give time. Mr. Talukdar, are you appearing here? Informant. Oh, you are opposing Mr. Borthakur and supporting the death sentence. Life. He's a chowkidar.
the Sophia. Incident occurred on 31/8/2019, and on that day I was serving as Sophia of York Tea Garden Hospital. On that day, around 3:20 p.m., I saw one patient being carried in a tela to York Tea Garden Hospital. The patient was accompanied by about 6-7 members, and they inquired about the staff present in the hospital. I told them that the hospital receptionist Subhas Rajwar was present at that time. Thereafter, I informed Subhas Rajwar. His name came up again and again, Your Lordship, PW25, about the patient, who in turn asked them to come inside the hospital. Patient was made to sleep on a bed in a dressing room of the hospital. Immediately, Subhas Rajwar went to the official quarter of hospital nurse Ranjula Hazarika Bora to inform about the patient. Then he returned to the hospital. About 5 minutes later, Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora came to Tea Garden Hospital. I could not say what she did with the patient as I was outside the hospital. About 10-15 minutes later, Dr. Deven Doctor arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital. As soon as Doctor arrived, 6-7 persons who accompanied the patient started questioning Deven Doctor why he came late and started raising hue and cry. However, Deven Doctor, after examining the patient, found him to have died already. On knowing about the death of the patient, the 6-7 members accompanying the patient started raising hue and cry and tried to create a scene. Then Dr. Deven Doctor tried to come out of the Tea Garden Hospital. By that time, accused Sri Manoj Maji arrived there all of a sudden, who is a member of ATSA, and took Deven Doctor to his chair and made him to sit there, asking him that he cannot go. Accused Sri Manoj Baji also asked Deven Doctor to call the garden manager. At that time, I was present in the room. Dr. Deven Doctor near him. So Deven Doctor asked dresser Subhas Rajwar to call the garden manager, whose name I do not know. In the meantime, accused Manoj Baji, after making Deven Doctor to sit in the chair, went out of the room. After some time, the Manoj Baji leaving the room of the doctor, a group about of 30 to 40 persons gathered outside the Tea Garden Hospital. By this time, welfare officer, whose name I do not know, about Tea Garden arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital compound, and a group of 30-40 persons who have already gathered started assaulting him. Seeing the incident of assault outside on the welfare officer by the group of 30-40 persons, I immediately bolted the door of the room, and from inside where Dr. Deven Doctor was sitting, inside the said room, I was present along with Dr. Deven Doctor. There were also few women accompanying patient present inside the room. Our GNM nurse Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora was in the OPD room carrying out her duty. As the door was bolted from the inside, the crowd from the outside started banging the door and asked me to open it. Seeing their mood, as soon as I opened the door of the room, the crowd of 30-40 persons rushed inside the room. And when they made attempt to assault Dr. Deven Doctor, I tried to save Dr. Deven Doctor. At that moment, someone from behind slapped me on the backside of my head and threatened not to interfere into the matter and made me come out of the room. Those persons also came out of the room of Dr. Deven Doctor. When I came out of the room, I saw accused Manoj Maji standing outside the Tea Garden Hospital waiting for the arrival of the garden manager. In the meanwhile, number of persons in the crowd started increasing. As soon as garden manager, whose name I do not know properly, arrived at the Tea Garden Hospital and went inside the room of Dr. Deven Doctor, then all the members of the crowd, including accused Manoj Maji, rushed inside the room of Dr. Deven Doctor, and from outside I could hear hue and cry thereafter immediately. Members of the crowd who were inside the room, Dr. Deven Doctor, after arrival of garden manager, I could recognize accused persons, namely one Sanjoy Rajwar, Sanjeev Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, Ajoy Maji, Deveswar Rajwar, son of Samlal Rajwar, Arun Maji, Deepak Rajwar, Hari Maji, Rinku Maji, and Sri Manoj Maji going inside the room of Dr. Deven Doctor. When I was standing outside and I saw one person in his mobile video recording the whole incident, I do not know the said person as he is not from our tea garden. After some time, police arrived and they tried to make out the crowd moved out of the room of Dr. Deven Dutta, but they did not succeed. Also, one 108 ambulance at the tea garden hospital, but same was chased away by the crowd. Thereafter, with more police force, police could disperse the crowd from the room and Dr. Deven Dutta and the dead body could be taken out through the backside door of hospital into a police vehicle. At that time, I had no idea where Deven Dutta was taken for medical treatment by police. Later on, when I was at my home, I could know that Dr. Deven Dutta died. Cross-examination. Dresser Subhas Rajwar, after summoning the garden manager, though he returned to the tea garden hospital, he again went back from the gate of the hospital. About this, I could know later on from him. Police recorded my statements. While giving my statements, other than Mukul Rajwar and Manoj Maji, I did not name any of the accused persons before the police. This is for the first time, Your Lordship. This name has come up, Your Lordship, in his mouth, Your Lordship. And in fact, this Mukul Rajwar is neither made an accused nor an witness, Your Lordship. Of the accused persons whom I have named in the court today, of these accused, Arun Maji and Deepak Rajwar accompanied the patient, and as I know, they have not done anything, Your Lordship. This is very specific, Your Lordship.
They are also appellants.
Lordship. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that as soon as doctor arrived, 6-7 persons who accompanied the patient started questioning Dr. Deven Dutta why he came. Rest, Your Lordship, is not required. Okay. Then Your Lordship may kindly come to PW 25, Your Lordship. He is, Your Lordship, at page 85, Your Lordship. He is Subhas Rajwar, Your Lordship. PW 1 and PW 3 says that he is one of the person who have mentioned the names of the accused persons to them, along with, Your Lordship, Jiban Kurmi, Your Lordship, welfare officer. Now let us see, Your Lordship, what he has said.
Where?
Page 85.
'85. PW 25.
25.
Yes.
On that day, around 3 p.m., I came to Tiok Tea Garden Hospital for my duty. While I was busy dressing other patients, then Milan Rajwar and Sri Deepak Rajwar, by lifting one patient, namely Samra Maji, brought inside the hospital. They brought the patient in a handcart. Seeing blood oozing out of the nose and mouth of Samra Maji, I immediately rushed to the official quarter of Ranjula Hazarika Bora, GMM nurse of Tiok Tea Garden Hospital, and that time it was around 3:20 p.m. I informed her about the condition of the patient, that is Samra Maji, who in turn over telephone informed Dr. Deven Dutta about the condition of the patient. Accordingly, Dr. Deven Dutta advised Srimati Ranjula Hazarika Bora to check the blood pressure of the patient, that is Samra Maji, and to give one Dexona injection to him. Ranjula Hazarika Bora GNM nurse came to hospital immediately and gave one Dexona injection to the patient, that is Samra Maji. Around 3:55 p.m., Dr. Deven Dutta arrived at the hospital and after examining the patient, advised to give another dose of Dexona injection to the patient, Samra Maji. Thereafter, he advised me to nebulize the patient and accordingly I did so. Further, doctor also advised me to prepare for one saline to be given to the patient. While I was nebulizing the patient, Dr. Deven Dutta was standing by my side and I heard hue and cry outside the garden hospital. So Dr. Deven Dutta advised me to call the garden manager. Accordingly, I went to call the garden manager, but finding him absent at her office, I found Sri Debojyoti Borua in the garden manager office and informed him about the development in the garden hospital and also requested him to convey about the same to the garden manager immediately. Thereafter, when I returned from the office of the garden manager, outside the tea garden hospital, I saw a huge gathering of Sri Jiban and Sri Jiban Kurmi garden welfare officer of Tiok Tea Estate being assaulted by the gathering. And from the crowd, as I could gather that the members of the gathering were assaulting the hospital staff, so I went back to my house out of fear. I do not know who were assaulting the hospital staff inside the hospital. Later on, I heard that Dr. Deven Dutta was assaulted, due to which he succumbed to his injury. I know all the accused persons who are present in the court today as they are from my locality. When I was inside the Tea Garden Hospital, I was inside doing my duty. I cannot say about the presence of these accused persons at the relevant time, Your Lordship. Now, he is one of the person who stayed according to PW3 and PW1, Your Lordship. that these are the persons who are present in that room, Your Lordship, at the time of the incident, Your Lord. And he also very specific about the time when the incident took place and when doctor came, Your Lordship. This timing, Your Lordship, is important for my case, Your Lordship. Then PW 26, Your Lordship. She is the She is Ranjula Hazarika Bora. Also, there is a statement in PW2, PW3, and PW1, Your Lordship, that all the staffs, including these, they were threatened, including Ranjula, Your Lordship. She has not stated so in her statement, Your Lordship. I need not go to accept that she has accepted about the coming of Your Lordship, Dr. Deven Dotto and the Samara Mazes, that she has not said anything more than that, Your Lordship. He only says that I failed to go there due to presence of huge gathering. I was prevented to go there. Out of my fear of I left the hospital and came back to my official quarter. Then Your Lordship may kindly come to 28, Your Lordship. No, he has written the FIR.
Right.
He is the Mukta Jyoti Borra, Your Lordship. He was there all along with Your Lordship, PW3, Your Lordship, in the place of occurrence, Your Lordship, when this incident took place. Page 91.
Just a minute. Yes. Next, which one?
Page 91, Your Lordship, PW 28.
28. Yes.
Incident occurred on 31/8/2019. On that day, due to some personal work, I went to Jorhat and returned to T Estate around 3:30 to 3:45 p.m. When I was in official bungalow around 4:08 p.m., I received a call from our estate manager Manoj Gogoi and asked me to come to Tiok Tea Garden Hospital immediately. Accordingly, I rushed to the Garden Hospital and reached the hospital around 4:20 p.m. When I reached there, I saw 50-60 people outside the Garden Hospital shouting. In the hospital gate, I met Jibon Kurmi, welfare officer. I asked him what is happening in the Garden Hospital. In turn, Sir Jibon Kurmi told me that Dr. Deven Dotto was assaulted and he was also chased from the Garden Hospital by a few workers. Outside the hospital, I saw manager's jeep and asked Jibon Kurmi about the manager. And Sri Manoj Gogoi, Jibon Kurmi told me that Manoj Gogoi manager is inside the room. Then I went inside the doctor's chamber of Dr. Deven Dotto. I saw 30-40 persons present inside the room surrounding Dr. Deven Dotto and Sri Manoj Gogoi. The manager of our tea estate and these persons creating noise and hue and cry. Manoj Gogoi was trying to pacify the persons present inside the doctor's chambers, but no one is listening to him. After 3-4 minutes, more people entered into the doctor's chambers, though both front and back doors of the chamber. Seeing the rush of more people inside the doctor's chamber, so I, along with one staff named Prakash Rajwar, blocked the back door of the chamber in order to prevent further entry of the other people inside the chamber. Suddenly, more people came inside the doctor's chamber, and they, along with 30-40 persons who were already present inside the chamber, started assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by pushing away Sri Manoj Gogoi. In the meantime, someone called police, and after 15-20 minutes, 4 or 5 police personnel came to Tea Garden Hospital. When police entered into the doctor's chambers, the mob present in the doctor's chambers became more violent. They pushed 2, 3 police personnel and they also stopped the police personnel from doing their duty. After a few minutes, more police persons force came and circle officer also arrived. With presence of more police personnel, they could vacate the doctor's chamber by moving out of the crowd. By the time the condition of Deven Dotto was very bad as he was punched in his face, I also noticed blood on the floor just below his chair where he was sitting. One police officer folded his trouser which he was wearing, and then I could see one cut mark on his right thigh of Dr. Deven Dotto where from blood was oozing out. In order to stop bleeding from the cut portion of Dr. Deven Dotto, one police staff with the help of saline pipe, he tied the cut portion. Then Sri Manoj Gogoi went outside and requested the crowd to allow to take Deven Dotto for medical attention, but no one listened to him. Rather, they were shouting that Dr. Deven Dotto has to die here. Only after a few minutes, more police force came to Tiok Tea Garden Hospital, and with the help of circle officer, they could finally manage to take out Dr. Deven Dotto to the back door of the chamber, and then he was taken to a police vehicle along with Dr. Deven Dotto. Dead body of Samara Maji was also taken in the said police vehicle. Before taking Deven Dotto in the police vehicle, one 108 ambulance arrived at the Garden Hospital, but the crowd mob did not allow the ambulance to come inside. They also threatened the driver of the 108 ambulance chase they made. After Dr. Deven Dotto was taken to the hospital in police vehicle as per direction of Sri Manoj Gogoi, manager, I stayed back at the Garden Hospital itself in order to find out the names of the persons present in the crowd and to ascertain why the incident had taken place. With the help of few staffs, namely Sri Prakash Rajuar, not examined, Your Lordship, Jivan Kurmi welfare officer and dresser Subhas Rajuar as well as other staff, I gathered the names of the persons present in the mob, Your Lordship. Now, Subhas Rajuar, Your Lordship, has already gone through, Your Lordship, and Prakash Rajuar is not even examined. Now, Jivan Kurmi will come later. Later on, I learned from Sri Manoj Gogoi, manager, that Dr. Deven Dotto had expired. Then around 9:15 p.m., Sri Manoj Gogoi came back to his office at Tiok Tea Garden from Jorhat. By that time, I have already drafted one FIR as per the instruction of Manoj Gogoi, manager, and after rectifying the same by Sri Manoj Gogoi, he put his signature thereupon as informant. Thereafter, I went to Tiok police station and submitted the FIR. They are signed by Manoj Gogoi, exhibit to his said FIR, which I have seen the court today. In the FIR drafted by me, I have named 30 persons, accused persons who were present in the court today. All were present at the time of the incident. Out of them, I could recognize and identify today accused person, namely Sanjoy Rajuar, son of late Babu Rajuar. Now, Your Lordship, earlier it was only Sanjoy Rajuar. To differentiate, they have this. Ajay Maji, Deepak Rajuar, Suresh Rajuar, Deveshwar Rajuar, son of late Jogeshwar Rajuar, and I saw them assaulting Deven Dotto. Other than these accused persons, Mislal Maji, Jabra, and Sonju Maji were also present inside the doctor's chambers. I saw them shouting and raising hue and cry, but I did not see them assaulting Deven Dotto. Rest of the accused persons were also present inside the doctor's chamber, engaged in pushing and shoving and raising hue and cry. Later on inquiry from my official staff and few workers, as well as from Somen Kundu, I came to know that the whole incident had taken place due to instigation by accused Sri Manoj Maji, who was ATSA member. I also came to know from my official staff and few workers that the accused Manoj Maji will compel Dr. Devendra to be seated in his chamber, preventing him from coming out. Cross. See, Manoj Gogoi is my senior colleague. I met him after he adduced his evidence before the Honorable Court. Police recorded my statement. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that I, along with one staff named Prakash Rajwar, blocked the black door of the house. I did not state before the police that with the help of few staffs, namely Prakash Rajwar, Jivan Kurmi, welfare officer, dresser, Subhas Rajwar, and as well as other staffs, I gathered the names of persons present in the mob, as police did not ask me about the same. It is not a fact that there is no staff by name of Prakash Rajwar at Tiok Tea Estate. Now I could recollect the surname of Prakash to be Robidas and not Rajwar. It is not a fact that Prakash Robidas was not present at the place of occurrence and he did not identify the accused persons, and for the same I did not state about the same to police. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that crowd present inside doctor's chambers pushed 2, 3 personnel and they also stopped the police personnel from doing their duty. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that 30, 40 persons who were already present inside the chamber started assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto. It is also not a fact that I did not state before the police that the condition of Dr. Deven Dotto was very bad as he was punched in his face. It is not a fact that I did not state before the police that one police officer folded trouser of Dr. Deven Dotto which he was wearing, and then I could see cut mark on
No, these are contradiction which
Con-
is not
Lord-
not proof
Lordship,
possible.
then your lordship, in the page 95, your lordship may come below, your lordship, for a second, third, fourth paragraph from
Bottom.
bottom, your lordship. I did not state before, I did not state the name of the accused person, namely Sanjay Rajwar, son of Babu Rajwar, Rajoy Maji, Deepak Rajwar, Suresh Rajwar, Deveswar Rajwar, son of late Jugesh Rajwar, about assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by them specifically. By I have stated about assaulting of Dr. Deven Dotto by the person present inside the doctor's room, your lordship. These names, your lordship, he has told your lordship for the first time before the court, your lordship. Then your lordship, I also did not name the Sanju Mazi and Misilal Jabra before the police about their shouting and raising hue and cries specifically, your lord. It is a fact that I did not state before the police that I also came to know from my official staff and few workers that it was accused Manoj Maji who compelled Dr. Deven Doctor to be seated in his chamber, preventing him from coming out, as I came to know about the same months after the incident. Now, your lordship, the Jivan Kurmi PW 52, your lordship.
Page.
Page, your lordship will get it. 188, your lord. On 31/8/2019 at around 4 p.m., I was in my official quarter at Kyok Tea Estate. On that day, our official staff Debojyoti Borua informed me over telephone that some of the laborers are assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto at Kyok Tea Estate Garden Hospital. Immediately, I rushed towards the hospital in scooty, and after reaching the hospital, I parked my scooty outside the Kyok Tea Estate Garden Hospital. Thereafter, I went inside the hospital campus, and I have found many people in the veranda of the hospital and also the chamber of Dr. Deven Dotto. While I was trying to enter into the hospital at that time, someone pushed me in veranda. I fell on the ground. I sustained injury over my head and hand and back. Then I have seen Manoj Gogoi, senior manager and assistant manager, Sri Muktajyoti Borua entering the hospital campus. There were about 150 people inside the hospital and the veranda. Then I returned back to my official quarter in my scooty. Thereafter, along with Sri Satyajit Hazarika, I went to Tilak FRU for medical treatment. After taking medical treatment at Tiog FRU, I returned back to my residence. Then I have seen Dr. Deven Dotto being taken in a police vehicle to the hospital for treatment. Thereafter, I again went to Tiog Tea State Garden Hospital, and there I have found local people along with Somen Kundu Muktajyoti Borua. It was at 7 o'clock in the time I came to know from Assistant Manager Muktajyoti Borua and Somen Kundu about the death of Deven Dotto at Jorhat Medical College and Hospital. While I reached the veranda at the Tiok Tea Garden Hospital, at that time some people were assaulting doctor, but I have not seen the persons who have assaulted the doctor at the relevant point of time. I have seen the accused standing trial now in the veranda of the Tiok Tea State Garden Hospital and also inside the hospital compound. I have heard assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by people inside his chamber, but I have never witnessed the assault, your lord. Now in the cross, he has named these persons, your lordship, as seen in the veranda, your lordship. Most of the accused persons, your lord. Then your lordship may kindly come to page 191. Page 191, Your Lordship, last one.
One nine one.
91, last time.
Yes.
When I reached the hospital, I heard halla inside doctor's chamber. I reached the hospital after half an hour of the beginning of the incident. I was at the place of occurrence for about half an hour to 50 minutes, and I have seen the persons leaving the place of occurrence. For about 1 hour, I was near the place of occurrence. I have seen the accused persons who have named today in the Baranda hospital, as well as near the door of doctor's chambers of the Garden Hospital. The entire incident continued for 1 hour. I have not seen who had assaulted Dr. Devendra on the date of occurrence. Now, Your Lordship, these are the Your Lordship witnesses of who have worked with the management or the Your Lordship managerial staff, Your Lordship. Now, Your Lordship, from the evidence of these persons, Your Lordship, one thing is become quite clear, Your Lordship, in spite of the fact that Muktazoti Borua and the Manoj Gogoi, PW3 and Your Lordship, PW12, Your Lordship, in spite of the fact that they are there, indeed they have not stated that they have seen Sanjay Rajuar, Your Lordship, as, taking a broken piece of glass, piercing the thigh of the diseased Dr. Devendra, Your Lordship. That is not there, Your Lordship. Now, Your Lordship, second most important group of witnesses are the police personnel who immediately come, Your Lordship. There are, Your Lordship, PW 9, 10, 11, 17, and 19. These personnel were, Your Lordship, inside the room, Your Lordship, doctor's room at the relevant point of time, Your Lordship. PW 9, Your Lordship, page 45. May I read, Your Lordship? Incident occurred on 31/8/2019, and on that day I was serving as SI Tiok police station on the date. On that day around 4:05 p.m. while I was on the police station, then officer in charge Tiok PS, namely Sir Dipankar Gogoi, over telephone, directed me to go to Tiok Tea Estate as some incident had taken place. So I, accompanied by ABC Constable Ghanakanto Mili, UBC Constable Devasis Bora, and driver Aditya Shaw from Tiok PS, went out, and on the way, as that day happened to be the day of final publication of NRC, so for security reasons, there were a mobile patrolling party of BSF personnel along with one constable, Sri Kamal Das, and I also took the mobile patrolling party with me and proceeded to Tiok Tea Estate and saw a huge gathering of about 200 and 250 people outside the Tea Garden Hospital. Inside the chamber of Dr. Deven Dr. Tiok Tea Garden Hospital, there were about 30-40 people present, and they were assaulting him. Then I, along with my other police staff, made my way to the chamber of Dr. Deven Doctor and saw doctor was profusely bleeding from the right thigh. Then the persons who were inside the chamber made them go out of the chamber. As Dr. Deven Doctor was profusely bleeding, in order to tie the wound, search of clothes, finding the same to be available, Sri Kamal Das, who accompanied me as set up with a saline pipe, tied the wound on the right thigh of Dr. Deven Doctor to block bleeding from there. This Kamal Das was not examined, Your Lordship. Outside the hospital, the persons who were present were shouting by threatening that they would kill him and made the doctor to come out of the room so that they can kill him. Those persons also damaged the doors and windows of the Tea Garden Hospital, including the glass panes. For providing immediate treatment to Dr. Deven Dotto, when I, along with my other staff present with me, tried to take the injured out of the room through backside of the hospital, but we were prevented from taking the doctor out as we were out by the gathering. In the meanwhile, Sri Dipankar Gogoi, the officer in charge of Tiok police station, along with more police force arrived at the place of occurrence. Then there were more police personnel, and as per direction of officer in charge of PS, we could manage to take out Dr. Deven Dotto as well as dead body of Samara Majid to backside of the hospital, and they were taken in a police vehicle to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital. I did not accompany the state police vehicle. I saw accused persons, namely Sri Sanjoy Rajwar, Manoj Maji, Rinku Bhakti, assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by giving fist blows, kicks, etc. Further accused Sanjoy Rajwar attempted to assault me when I tried to save Deven Dotto from assault upon him. Of the accused persons present in the court today on the day of incident, that is 31/8/2019, at a relevant time, I could recognize, identify today accused, namely Ajoy Maji, Sanjeev Rajwar, Manoj Maji, Sanjoy Rajwar, Kalang Maji, and I saw them assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by giving fist blows, kicks, etc. Cross-examination. I do not know the names of the accused person whom I have identified today, Your Lordship. I do not, Your Lordship. Will kindly note that. After identifying them, Your Lordship, he is saying that I do not know the name of the accused persons whom I have identified today. I know accused Manoj Maji from before, as he was a member of ATSA. I did not make any statement before the IO of the case that
No,
I,
the first line has a meaning.
Lord,
Names he doesn't know, but he has identified that these persons were there.
Lord, but he specifically named them, Your Lordship. Just,
Where?
yeah. Of the accused person on the day of incident, relevant time, I could recall, identify to the accused person, namely, Your Lord. He has named them, Your Lord. I did not make any statement before the IO of the case that I would be able to recognize the accused person if I see them. That is also there, Your Lordship. Today, I could not recognize and identify accused Rinku Bhakti. It is not a fact that I have falsely recognized and identified. I know the accused Sri Sanjoy Rajwar, as on the day of incident he tried to assault me. I did not state before the IO that accused Sri Sanjoy Rajwar tried to assault me when I said tried to save Dr. Deven Dotto as investigating officer did not ask me, Your Lordship. I also did not state before the IO that I saw Dr. Deven Dotto was profusely bleeding and Sri Kamal Das with saline pipe tried to tie the wound on the right thigh of Dr. Deven Dotto to block bleeding from there. I did not state before the police that outside the hospital the persons who were present were shouting by threatening that they would kill him and made the doctor to come out of the room so that they can kill him, and they were also damaging the doors and windows of the Tea Garden Hospital, including glass pane. I also did not state before the police that for providing immediate treatment to Dr. Deven Dotto, when I, along with my other staff present with me, tried to take the injured out of the room through backside of the hospital, but we were prevented from taking the doctor out as we were out by the gathering. I also did not state before the IO that we took out the doctor to the backside of the Tea Garden Hospital, as IO himself was present at that time. I did not state before the IO specifically that the gathering giving fist and blows and kicks, etc. to Dr. Deven Dotto. I stated before IO that the doctor was assaulted by the gathering. It is not a fact that. Now, this was by the police officer SI concerned, Your Lordship, who was there at the relevant point of time, Your Lordship. Now, then, Your Lordship, PW10, he is also a constable, Your Lordship, who was there. Page 49, Your Lordship. May I read, Your Lordship?
Yes.
Incident occurred on 31/8/2019, and on that day I was serving as constable at Tiok PS. On that day around 4:10 p.m. while I was at the police station, then Sri Khanindranath asked me to accompany him to go to Tiok PS, that some incident had taken place. He also asked ABC Constable Sri Ghanakanta Mili to accompany us. Accordingly, we in a police vehicle driven by Sri Aditya Shaw went out, and on the way, as that day happened to be the day of the final publication of NRC, there were a mobile patrolling party of BSF personnel along with one constable, Kamal Das. We also took the mobile patrolling party with us and proceeded to Tiok Tea Estate and saw a huge gathering of 300 people outside the Tea Garden Hospital. Inside the hospital, hearing hue and cry, except Aditya saw the driver of our police vehicle. We went inside where Dr. Deven Dotto was sitting, and he was being assaulted by about 30-40 miscreants. I was trying to prevent the crowd from entering the inside the room. I could not focus properly about specific injuries sustained by Dr. Deven Dotto. We could, however, manage to chase out the persons who were inside the room. On the day of incident, the relevant time, I could recognize and identify specifically today accused persons, namely Sipsaran Mahali, Upendra Bhumis, Siva Mahali, Anil Maji, Kalang Maji, Rahul Rajwar, Ratul Rajwar, Sanjoy Rajwar. I saw them assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto by giving kiss, blows and kicks, etc. Accused Sri Sanjoy Rajwar are more aggressive of them all. And even after he was chased out, he again made his way and assaulted Dr. Deven Dotto as well as broke doors and windows, including glass front. In order to prevent the crowd from further entering into the room, I, along with my colleague Bhanokanta Mili, as well as one BSF, were blocking the door, and another BSF staff, Kamal Das, were standing by the side of the window. The members of the crowd who were outside the Tea Garden Hospital were shouting that the doctor should be brought out from the room so that they can kill him. In the meanwhile, SI Sri Khanindranath over telephone requested the officer in charge Diok PS to come along with more police force. Accordingly, officer in charge Diok police station along with more police personnel arrived at Tea Garden Hospital. Subsequently, Dr. Deven Dotto and the dead body of Samara Maji could be taken out and rest is not required. Then cross-examination. The accused persons whom I have identified today in the court, I have not identified before. I did not make any statement before the IO of the case that I would be able to recognize the accused person if I see them. I was not asked as such. I know accused Sanjoy Rajwar from the date of the incident as he was more aggressive and took lead in assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto. I did not state before the IO that the accused Sri Sanjoy Rajwar was more aggressive at the relevant point of time. I did not state before the IO that I saw the accused persons whom I have recognized and identified specifically today assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto. It is not a fact that I did not state before the IO that in order to prevent the crowd from further entering the room, I, along with colleague Dhanakanta Mili as well as one BSF, were blocking the door. I did not state before the IO that the members of the crowd who were outside the Tea Garden Hospital were shouting that doctors should be brought out of the room so that they can kill him. Then your Lordship raised their suggestions. Your Lordship. Then your Lordship PW 11, your Lordship. Incident occurred on 30.
Just a
May I-
minute, just a minute. PW,
PW 11.
Bhanokanta.
Bhanokanta.
He was
He
referred
was
by
also
the
there, your Lordship.
PW 10 also referred about his name.
Lordship. Incident occurred on 31/8/2019, and on that day I was serving as AB Constable at York PS. On that day around 4:10 p.m. while I was at the police station, then Sri Khanindra Nath asked me to accompany him to go to Tiok PS that some incident had taken place. He has also asked UBC Constable Sri Devasis Borua to accompany us. Accordingly, we in police vehicle driven by Sri Aditya Shaw went out, and on the way, as the day happened to be the day of final publication of NRC, there were mobile patrolling party of BSF personnel along with one constable Sri Kamal Das, and we also took the mobile patrolling party with us and proceeded to Tiok Tea Estate and saw a huge gathering of about 250 to 300 people outside the Tea Garden Hospital. Inside the hospital, hearing hue and cry, except Sri Aditya Shaw, the driver of our vehicle, we went inside where Deven Dotto was sitting and he was being assaulted by about 60, 70 miscreants. There were hardly any space when we tried to rescue and prevent Deven Dotto from further assault. Then the crowd also made attempt to assault us physically and tried to make to go out of the room. Initially, as we were few in numbers, on arrival of few more police staff, we could manage to move out the crowd from doctor's room. After some time, officer in charge of Tiok police station, Dipankar Gogoi, along with police force arrived. We could manage to take out Dr. Deven Dotto as well as one dead body and took it to police vehicle to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital. Though we called 108 ambulance, according they arrived there, but the ambulance was chased away by crowd present outside the Tea Garden Hospital. I went to the Jorhat Medical College Hospital in different vehicle where I could learn that Deven Dotto was declared dead. On the day of the incident, I could recognize and identify specifically today accused persons, namely Bijoy Rajwar, Manoj Maji, Rinku Maji, and I saw them assaulting Deven Dotto by giving fish, blows, kicks, etc. Further accused Rinku Maji scratched on my forehead when I prevented him from assaulting Deven Dotto. Cross. The accused persons whom I have identified today in the court, I have not identified them before. I know accused Vijay Rajwar from the before the incident. I did not state before the IO that I saw the accused persons whom I have recognized and identified specifically today assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto. I did not state before the IO that then the crowd also made attempt to assault us physically and tried to make us to go out of the room as police did not ask me. I also did not state before the IO that the accused Rinku Maji scratched on my forehead when I prevented him from assaulting Dr. Deven Dotto as I was not asked for such. I did not take any treatment for scratching on my forehead by accused Rinku Maji. Rest to are your lordship suggestions. Then your lordship PW 17, your lordship. Page your lordship 68.
He is a home guard.
Lordship, Homeburg. He was there.
Hmm.
On that day, in connection with investigation into a police case, I accompanied Sri Apurva Kolita, SI of Police, being P of PS case number so and so. Jogged around 4-5 p.m. Officer in charge of T of PS over phone directed Apurva Kolita to go to T of Tea Garden Hospital as some violent situation had occurred there. On that day, as police party along with BSF personnel were on patrolling duty due to final publication of NRC, so far direction of officer in charge T of PS SI Apurva Kolita took our BSF personnel and one accompanying constable for patrolling party to T of Tea Garden Hospital. I also accompanied them. On reaching there, I saw gathering of about 200 and 250 persons standing outside and creating noise and hue and cry. After we reached there, 108 ambulance arrived there. I paved the way for ambulance to go near hospital. On reaching near the hospital, the ambulance was sent back from there and subsequently it was chased out from the area. I, along with other security personnel, entered into the room of hospital and saw Deven Dotto sitting in his chair with his right thigh tied with his saline pipe to block the blood oozing out of the wound, and below the chair of Deven Dotto there was pool of blood. I also saw pieces of broken glasses of doors, windows lying scattered in the room. From the room, though the backside of the hospital injured Deven Dotto and one dead body of patient were taken in police vehicle of Lahdagor OP to Jorhat Medical College and Hospital medical treatment. I also went inside the police, went in the state police vehicle along with Gautam Borua, Devasis Borua and Nazir Ali to Jorhat Medical College. Later on, I came to know that Dr. Deven Dotto died at Jorhat Medical College. Accused Sanjoy Rajwar and one Bolin Rajwar prevented me from taking Deven Dotto out of his room to the police vehicle. Now, your lordship, cross accused persons whom I have named, I could not recognize them in the court today. I heard the names of Sanjoy and Bolin from others when they prevented me from taking Deven Dotto in the police vehicle. I did not name the accused person as stated above before police, as I was not asked as such, your lord. This is also relied on by the learned trial court, your lordship. Then PW, your lordship, 19.
Where is no? 245. No, 245. Kid price coverage. Kid out whole time. Next, we'll do it tomorrow.
Sure.
Depends how long.
I will need some time, your lord.
We'll need some time. Mr. Taludar is also there. Yes, we'll try to accommodate. Tomorrow, your plight is not come. Madam is there, Mr. Alder is there. He is yet to complete.
Lord.
I was single something. No, no. Single means Marim single means Marim say Nalvi side. Marim say I was before.
Little by.
No, it is. Okay, please for the hearing tomorrow. Hearing has remained inconclusive. Upper, huh? Please for the hearing tomorrow.
Deeply applied. Immediate. Immediate building. Single means no hai. Yes, a file में आना सुनिए. Oh. आलू नहीं एक मिनट रुको. प्रथम केसটো তুমি ধৰি ৰখা না 1 2 3 লেখা আছে নবয়ে জামাটা মুখখনো নেন লাগিছিল টাকা দে নিবে নিব না
পঠাই দিবা নালাগে আৰু অৰ্ডাৰ আহি আছে তখন যদি লাগে নহলে বাইছিল কৈ দিয়ক কথা নালাগে নালাগে হ'ব দি দিয়ক দি দিয়ক দি দিয়ক গম পাইছো কৰা নাই